All right, Lorette, I gotta be honest with you.
Okay.
2020, one heck of a year. Glad it's kind of culminated. Some awesome driving though.
Yeah.
And if I don't see Ryan Sage for a long time, a few months, I'll be okay.
Are you sure? I think you're gonna miss him.
All right, you're right. But it was a great year, right?
Yep, double headers, super exciting driving.
What the?
Whoa!
Ryan!
I've been looking for you guys. The FD Awards show is about to start in 5 minutes.
Well, makes sense why you have those fancy pants on. I gotta change. Let's go. Formula Drift Banquet 2020 starts now.
The other shoe fell and the entire floor of reality dropped away. States were ordering lockdown orders, sports were canceling events, canceling seasons. So, what do? We send it.
Thank you to everybody that made this possible, all the fans, everyone that supports Formula Drift, all of our partners. Couldn't be done without you guys, and I'm extremely grateful for you all.
Wide. Go. Welcome. Here we are, the Formula Drift Virtual Awards Banquet. I'm Jared Dienda and the beautiful Lorette Nickel.
Hi guys.
Yeah,
Jared?
it's exciting. It's been a wild year, and you know what? We still saw 8 rounds. So thank you to our trusted leaders. After 17 years, we saw a wacky and wild 2020 season, but we saw not only double headers, I like to call them triple headers. And coming into Irwindale, the championship was still up for grabs, both in Pro and Pro 2. It was an exciting year.
For sure, and this, I know everyone had a really crazy 2020, right? And so when 2020 started, we had a schedule that was already laid out that was planned in 2019. And then there was so many different changes that FD, man, they put so much on the line to make sure that we had a season. And I know you're grateful, I'm grateful. Thank you to everyone that gave up, sleep for one to get this 2020 season off the ground.
Yeah, nothing is normal about drifting in general, and this year just adds to the whole culmination of a great season. So first and foremost, want to thank you, the fans, because this has never been streamed before. This banquet and all this, we usually do this behind closed doors, so it's really intimate. Now we're open up to the fans, and we're going to be having some special guests and drivers. Also, thank you to our sponsors who have supported this series after 17 years. Some day oneers, some for the first year this year here in 2020. So we're going to celebrate Formula Drift and the 2020 season. Again, it's been one heck of a ride. Thank you, Lorette, for your 7th year working, right? 7 years? That's right, 7 years, and I've been there since day one. Oh, man, I am tired. You know who else is tired? And want to thank them again. So let's throw it over to the founders, Ryan Sage and Jim Lau.
It's really weird, like being involved in Formula Drift is kind of like being involved in a 17-year psychological experiment, because there are many different professional know-it-alls that are always telling you how the sport is going to fail. At the beginning it was, there's no youth in motorsports, and then it was drifting as a fad, and then it was you're never going to be able to compete against the mainstream sports, and then it was, if that didn't get you, COVID for sure is going to kill the sport.
And as March came around, and as the spread of the coronavirus as a global pandemic, with travel bans, with countries shutting down, states and cities across America experiencing all kinds of hardships, all kinds of regulations, the word, uncertainty just kept floating and circulating around us.
And not too long into that, the other shoe fell and the entire floor of reality dropped away. And in front of us was just this wide open void of nothing, because there was no good information about how to make predictions for the future. There was really no information at all. And from about April or March to June was really dark. At that point we had to look to see what was possible. And on the one hand, it was cancel the season, bankrupt the teams. And on the other hand was do a season, go down the wrong path, take the wrong turn, bankrupt the company. So, what do? We send it.
The pivoting and adjusting wasn't just a Ryan and I decision. It was shouldered by so many people around the community, by staff, by teams, by sponsors, by tracks that we worked with, to work together cohesively in unison to be able to adjust and to be able to come up with something that was workable and that was doable. So many unsung heroes, those that worked tirelessly behind the scenes, played such a vital part to make this happen.
How do we do this so we don't screw it up? And just to cut to the chase, there's basically 3 elements that you have to have in order for that to take place. Number 1 is everybody's gonna have to make personal and financial sacrifices. There's just no getting past that. Number 2 is the drivers and the teams are gonna have to have faith in us that we can pull this off, knowing that as soon as they go on the road, they're putting themselves in our hands and at a certain level of risk.
4 venues, 8 rounds of Pro Championship competitions, 4 rounds of Pro 2 competitions, triple header weekends. It's a sense of relief that we were able to do this and accomplish this. And we couldn't have done it without the sponsors, the venues, the competitors and their crew.
Without any of those pieces, this does not work, and it would not have worked. So as we start the banquet and we get into the fun stuff of awards, this video is really for those people. Thank you to the drivers for going down this road with us and believing that we could pull it off and being champions in your own right in this own struggle. And thank you to our staff, who I am so personally indebted to. I'm not sure that we'll ever be able to repay you. And also, just a special note of thanks to Cassidy, who during the time that we're all fighting the virus, we learned that she was also fighting her own cancer. So as all of us were going through these challenges with the virus, she was also dealing with her own challenges with her cancer. And she worked hard to get through that. And so her spirit and her resilience is a great motivation for me, and I most definitely appreciate that. And then finally, thank you to the fans. And while we weren't able to really see any of you in person this year, you and the millions of other fans around the world helped us create the largest digital catalog that we've ever had and the highest viewed live stream in our 17-year history.
In the end, we want to thank our staff, our sponsors, all the competitors, and of course you, the fans. Because without all of you, none of this would have been possible.
Thank you for your support and enjoy the show.
There it is from the founders, Ryan Sage and Jim Lau. And we've all grown up together, and that's what it's all about, the Formula Drift family and drifting family in general. So thank you for all the fans, all the drivers, all the crews. It just, if anybody isn't mentioned, it's not by choice, right? I mean, there's so many people to thank.
Yeah, absolutely. And it just goes to show how hard the entire FD staff worked and everyone involved with drift, all the drivers, all the mechanics, all the photographers. This is a real passion project. Everyone loves Formula Drift, and I think 2020 really showed that.
And speaking of 2020, Pro 2. I mean, these Pro 2 drivers, the Pro 2 field was tremendous this year. And with it just being 4 rounds, they get to drive Irwindale for the first time, Pro 2 driver. You're driving St. Louis, which, drivers love or hate that track. Seattle always delivers. So Pro 2 overall, it's exciting. Let's take a look back at the highlights of Pro 2 in 2020, because it all began in St. Louis, that Worldwide Technology Raceway Park, which has hosted obviously IndyCar and all that. But we kicked off the season with that of Joshua Love. But as we look through, we're recounting, Seattle, where it got really wet, and the Pro 2 drivers took the brunt of that moisture.
Yeah, and those guys worked so hard, and of course they were all dealing with the same conditions out here, really rainy. Dimitri Brutsky celebrating his great job. He
Yeah.
had a hard time in Seattle.
Yeah, he really delivered. Texas here, and that was all about Jonathan Hurst there, that Cash Racing G37. Blake Olson tried to twist the screws on him, but Jonathan Hurst from Paducah, Kentucky delivers that Cora Works BMW. Great looking car. Blake Olson coming to us from Las Vegas. We'll get more into about Blake, but he does finish grade 8, and there he is, Jonathan Hurst, that Cash Racing. So a little out of order here. This is where it began, St. Louis. Hurst and Joshua Love. Love, that Big Duck Club E36 BMW, and John Hurst, two big gentlemen, sizable. I can relate to this. I'm a big dude, so it's great to see these guys up on there cranking that champagne, and they delivered. But I really loved, and everybody loved, literally, Josh Love.
And the driving was insane. There he is celebrating his first win, the round number 1. Man, can you imagine what that momentum and what that confidence must feel like?
Another driver, we saw this guy get emotional. He got emotional. I called him out on it, and rightfully so. Mike Power, coming to us from New Jersey, that Power Motorsports vehicle built by MA Motorsports in Maryland. You know, his first ever Formula Drift Pro 2 season. This got to be a dream. I mean, if for whatever sport you're in, if you're in motocross, you want to race at Glen Helen. If you're in baseball, you want to play at Wrigley Field. You know, if you're in F1, you want to race Monaco. Here's Irwindale. This is our hallowed ground. And Mike Power took it to the top, and rightfully so. He got emotional. So hats off to all of the Pro 2 drivers. It was a tremendous season, a lot of talent there. And remember, all top 8 drivers that finish in the top 8 of the 2020 season have the opportunity to enter into pro competition in the 2021 season, if they so choose. Because a lot of drivers, you know, they're going to stay in Pro 2 and develop their programs, develop their car, get more seat time, get more head-to-head time.
Right, and so you have someone like Mike Power who, yes, he won Irwindale, right? And he claimed the top of his car, and he's like, I got this. But look at what he did throughout the season. He got knocked out in top 32, and then got a 4th place, comes into Irwindale, and then wins.
Yeah.
And this is just the group of Pro 2 drivers.
Yep.
The driving has been absolutely insane. The dedication, the programs,
Yeah.
you can see that they're putting in the work.
The progression, the
Yeah.
respect is due. I mean, you know,
Yes.
we've seen the evolution of Pro 2, and I love to see it because these are just the stars of tomorrow and the stars of today. Speaking of stars of today, let's give out some awards. Our first award here is the fan favorite Pro 2 car. Now remember, this is the fan favorite. So as we find out who our 2020 fan favorite car, and not only favorite car, but also winning 2 awards, fan favorite car and driver, coming all the way to us from Riverside, California, the 909951, Mr. Holdfast, Micah Diaz is your 2020 fan favorite car and driver of the 2020 season in the Pro 2 Championship. And he's joined us. There he is.
Hey,
what is up,
Micah.
homeboy?
How's it going, guys?
Good, man. You're just down the freeway. We could have carpooled. I live in Riverside now, man.
Dude, I got space in the car. Let's do it.
I know. I see you do your
Insta stories and elaborating.
How was your experience? Because I think, you know, I don't want to call this a popularity contest, but you, prior to Pro 2 competition, have created such a great fan base of Holdfast. You're making gear. How was it entering into the Formula Drift family this season?
You know, it was a good experience for sure. It's really cool to be in a small pond here at home and have, you know, 5, 6 really good drivers, but then to jump into a national field of just all the top 3 drivers around the whole United States of America is just insane. And even we got guys coming from overseas. It's insane because these guys are really good, and amidst the pandemic, amidst financial, amidst everything that's going on this year, these guys are all, like you say, all killer, no filler. Like, everybody was good. If you went against somebody this season, you had to have your head screwed on right because it wasn't going to be easy.
Yeah, and you finished 10th this season. And so a driver coming out of Riverside who, in your bio, it says that you're chasing the dream. I mean, have you even taken a minute to think about what the season meant and how far you've come?
Not really. I haven't had a moment. I think this is like the first week where everything's kind of slowed down a little bit because, I mean, all season we were just having issues and stuff. So it's wild. I mean, just having this conversation and being here right now it's kind of settling in right now.
Are you crying? Are you crying, Micah? It's okay.
I'm not crying, dude. You're crying.
I'm not crying. It's got
fine.
dusty in here all of a sudden.
The sun it's in my eyes. Man. No, It's amazing.
And you know, you
Got fan favorite car and driver, and again, your fans are ravenous. You gained a lot of respect by running what they call the man line at Hoonigan. I think that really kind of kickstarted your career, and you gained a lot of notoriety. But to build a car at Pro 2 level, and some of these Pro 2 cars are no joke. I mean, you could literally compete in the Pro Championship out of the gate. You know, building your car, and you've been transparent about your build. You've made some mistakes. Let's be honest. You've wanted that thing before you showed up at St. Louis.
Oh yeah. We first test day went as fast as the car would go into the first corner. I mean, I don't know how else to find the limit, but we found it.
Like, are you? I mean,
Your motto is hold fast. I mean, it's got to be scary. Had you drifted Irwindale? Because that's a treacherous track. That's the Widowmaker. You know, knock on wood. Obviously, nobody has passed away. Just metaphorically speaking.
Right. Yeah, I did the Drift League Pro-Am series at Irwindale, so I had a lot of seat time there prior to coming into it. We just had car issues that just held us back from getting seat time. Our first full run was actually against Mike Powers in the top 16.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so exciting. You know, and Micah, just looking at this, the fan favorite Pro 2 car and the fan favorite driver, these are two separate awards that you've just been awarded. So what do you want to say to the fans?
I mean, look, it'd be really, really hard to get here without you guys. It'd be extremely difficult. So I just appreciate all of you guys. I thought for sure fan favorite car was going to Mike Powers. His car is beautiful, but I mean, the cash machine prevails. I love that thing. And I love all you guys. Thank you for the support. I really need it. It helps out a lot, the mental game and everything. So just thank you, fans. I don't know. I don't know what else to say except thank you.
What do you say, right? Except for thank you.
I would imagine that the whole brevity of this situation is maybe a little bit even overwhelming.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Well, congratulations again, man, and like you said, thank you to the fans. We'll see you next year, 2021, baby.
Absolutely, I'll be there. Car's gonna be ready.
Sweet.
We'll see. Don't crash into Adams or anything. Congratulations, Micah Diaz, again, the fan favorite, not only car, but also driver in the Pro 2 2020 Championship. Now we move on to, these are basically stats, these are just stats as far as Pro 2 goes. So we moved on next to 2020 Pro 2 Most Improved Driver of the Year, going from 27th in 2019 to all the way to the top, taking it to number 1. So our Most Improved Driver Pro 2 2020 season is Dmitry Brutsky. Congratulations, Dmitry Brutsky. His motto is never settle, and he did just that. And that's just, I think that's a great, just concept of overall just improving, going from here and going to there, Lorette.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I would love to take a look at how he did it.
There you go.
Okay.
Linking that all the way into that third outside zone. Madison tucking in. There you go, takes a shallower line. Brutsky, more on more angle. Woo, Madison. Culmination of two battles. Brutsky could be your 2020 Pro 2 champion. Brutsky, Visco goes into the wall, taps out, comes out of it, drops down low. Brutsky tapping it as well. He knows what's on the line. No mistakes can be made. Brutsky.
Yes, sir. Dmitry Brutsky joining us. Are you home in Massachusetts? Is that where you're at, bud?
Yes, sir.
Right on. Look at those trophies. What does that, again, I hate saying it, but the hardware, the carbon fiber to the heaviest trophy of them all. And what I'm seeing there in that recap is you have minimal sponsors. You do this for the love of the game. The biggest sponsor on your suit or the logo is Never Settle. I mean, but you see ISC suspension. There's people you want to thank. Obviously, Achilles Tire, and I know Mike Esso was part of your program. But let's just talk about the progression from 27th to the top. What changed from last year to this year?
The car.
I mean,
is that it? Come on, there has to be more than that.
No, I mean, if you remember, I drove Z4 last year, and that car is a short wheelbase, and it takes a lot of skill to drive that car. So it taught me as a really good driver, but switching to E46 with the help of Michael Essa definitely helped me and made me a champion. From a champion to a champion, I guess.
I think what's really wonderful about you, part of your personality, is how humble you are. And if we take a look at Seattle, you were struggling with a lot of car problems. And at your winner's interview, you said, well, I'm having car problems. But why don't you actually explain what you were dealing with in Monroe, the event that you won, by the way?
Okay. At first, we had some drive-by-wire problems, like my throttle wouldn't respond, wouldn't communicate with the ECU. There was some kind of problems. We don't know what it was. So that was definitely frustrating, like getting out there and trying to ride the wall, and you don't know if it's going to just shut off on you and you're going to go straight into the wall, or if you're going to make it through the bank. That thing was always on my mind. And if something goes wrong, with just getting towed off the track, that kills half of your practice, basically. Once you're not in the line, kills a lot of practice. Then we had like stupid stuff like a spark plug failure, that right in the burnout box. That took another half of practice or more away. Then finally we got the car running good. I snapped my quick change input shaft, or whatever, one of the parts. And that was it. Basically, didn't get really a lot of practice, but that was a dry day, and I checked the weather and I knew it's going to be a rainy day next day, so I wasn't really worried about it. I didn't want the dry practice to mess me up for the rainy practice and day, because I love drive in the rain. I did have a lot of that in New Hampshire when I just started drifting back in 2015-16 with the Club Blues North, and I had really good days in the rain, because one of my big problem was I would run out of tires. But when the rain comes, it's all day, and I could get a lot of seat time and enjoy it. And I had a nearly stock car that would not break, so I could hot lap for 45 minutes and get tired in the rain. So that was that.
Yeah, the rain keeps it, it slows things down. You make steam, not smoke overall, but it just makes for something that is just different in the Formula Drift world. It's obviously, exciting when you see all the smoke and just the high speeds and all that, but this just shows you as a diverse driver. What would you say to other drivers aspiring to enter in the Formula Drift field, such as yourself? Like you said, you changed the car from the Z4, which I know Michael Essa even struggled with, and he bounced around cars, and now he finds himself back in the BMW that's proven, including your vehicle that he hands the keys to, and now it's your vehicle. But what would you say to an aspiring drifter wanting to enter into the Formula Drift world?
First of all, you have to enjoy it. You have to love it. Doesn't matter where you land, top or bottom. You have to enjoy driving. You have to enjoy the competition. You have to know how to accept the failures and losses, and basically progress from there.
Yeah, anything else to add?
Dimitri again takes it all the way to the top, and we'll catch up with him in a little bit as well.
Yeah, I think again your humility is really special. You have always thanked Michael Essa. You've thanked your wife, your entire team. You never took credit for a win, even though you were the driver behind the wheel. And I just, if you want to give a shout out and talk about the heart and tenacity of the team that supports you, I think that might be a really great moment right now.
Yeah.
Definitely with a lot of car problems that I had. And I know I couldn't do it myself. I'm not a car guy. I can only drive. I build houses for a living, not cars. I can destroy cars. But with the smallest problem, something, the car start misfiring, for me, it's like, all right, I'm done, and then Mike Essa would just jump in and in a couple of minutes get me back on track, or my guys, go under the car and change the tie rod or whatever I just bent and broke. And with me, without even taking out my helmet or taking out my suit, it just, I realized how important having the right people, the right team, and not to worry about stuff. If everything is torqued right, everything is, the wheels are, the gas is in there. Simple stuff as that. When you come to the start line in the comp, you don't want to think about those things because that will throw you off. So having a solid team is what actually also helped me to be where I am today.
Well, congratulations on the Most Improved Driver of the Year, Pro 2 2020. We'll talk with you in a little bit later on because, again, you got a carbon fiber trophy and you have the big metal one, the chrome one, the number one. So we'll catch up with you in a little bit. So moving on to our next award, and that is Rookie of the Year. And this is a driver that I've grown to know, and he has a beer made out of him. So, or not made out of him. It doesn't have real bits of Josh Love in it because I spoiled it. There it is, our Rookie of the Year. You already know your 2020 Pro 2 Rookie of the Year, Joshua Love. Let's take a look.
No love lost for him or his team transitioning past that front clip. This is Love's first go in a head-to-head battle here at Irwindale. And
All right, so we saw that BMW E36, the Big Duck Club, you know, the after hours, you know, Autosports, the big AHA logo on it. And like I said, this gentleman has a beer named after him, and we'll talk to him about that because I have an affinity for beer, if you didn't know, FYI. But here he is, your 2020 Pro 2 Rookie of the Year, Joshua Love. What's up, boy?
What's up, guys? How we doing?
And again, what was the beer named? Because it says it on your wing. Remind me and the fans. What's it say?
You know you want my lovin'. And that was credited to my designer, Reagan. He goes by the Reagan sign. He designed all my wraps. He actually worked on my team this year. So shout out to him. He actually put that on there without consulting me about it, but people ended up loving it. So we love him for it.
No pun intended. Josh, just seeing you and kind of, I really, do you feel like there was great camaraderie amongst the Pro 2 drivers, or were there some drivers that you absolutely just hated? Be honest.
No, I mean, absolutely, there is a ton of camaraderie. I'd say probably a third of the field I knew from Pro-Am events from the year prior. And I think we had 22 drivers in the field this year. And I feel like I've definitely talked and chatted with each and every single one of them. And I feel like I gained a lot of friends out of the field this year. So definitely.
Technology, our friend, and sometimes our enemy. But as a look, oh, Josh fell asleep on us. I'm joking.
I think we still. No,
yeah, we still got him. Go ahead, Lorette.
So, Josh, you finished third overall, and you opened the season in St. Louis with a win. Is there a moment for you that's maybe the most memorable of the season?
Definitely St. Louis was the most memorable. Coming into our very first FD event and just slamming it out of the park, you know, going 3-1 more times, battling from top 32 to top 1. I just remember finishing that day being so tired and just watching my phone blow up, having all the fans, all my friends and family, you know, showing tons of support. That was an immaculate day. I'll never forget that.
Yeah. What was it about that track that was working so well for you?
You know, I've always ran a little bit smaller track. A lot of these bigger tracks like Texas and Irwindale, I don't have a whole lot of practice on. St. Louis, just, it worked out. You know, the car set up, my team set up a great car. Everything just came together that day.
Yeah, it's really impressive just to see. You gained a fan in me, man, just overall. Again, just we've shared some text messages, you shared some beer, and you shared your affinity for Grateful Dead, so I always love that. Are we going to be seeing you again in 2021? Same vehicle, different setup? What have you learned, and what are your takeaways from this season going into next season?
The vehicle may be different. It turns out the crash we had in Irwindale may have ended the life of that chassis. So as of right now, we're kind of sitting back and trying to figure out what we're going to do with that vehicle, if we're going to stick around in Pro 2 or try and make the move to Pro 1. So we have a lot to work on and a lot to figure out over the next couple months. But definitely, you know, we want to take our time and try and come back and do the season correct. So.
Yeah, and talk to us about the skills of being in Pro versus Pro 1.
How is that being balanced for you? What do you think might be the tipping point?
You know, it's honestly going to come down to support, you know, what we can get as far as, you know, help. You know, we really need someone who's been around to come and help push our team in the correct direction, as well, you know, as backing from teams and sponsors. So that's going to play a big one for us, you know, financially for everyone. 2020 was a really tough season, and trying to bounce back and do it again is going to be probably one of the biggest challenges. So.
Well, it's great seeing, just like Ryan and Jim said there, just one of the most, some of the most viewers as far as the live stream goes. You can see those numbers. It's all available there, and I think that can contribute to your program overall. So congratulations, man, Rookie of the Year. And we'll talk to you a little bit later with all your peers, actually, in just a little bit here. But congratulations, man, and, like Grateful Dead says, we will get by, we will survive, right?
Absolutely. Thanks, Jared. Thanks, Lorette.
Yeah, man. Congratulations. Rookie of the Year. Joshua Love here in the 2020 Pro 2 Championship. Again, Lorette, just the Pro 2 overall over the years has just really progressed, and not taking anything away from, previous Pro 2 champions like Alex Hilbrun and stuff like that, or Kevin Lawrence. There were talks of Pro 2 should be top 32, last year. And we saw kind of the top 16 kind of have some struggles. Atlanta's a very difficult track. So for them to have some struggles, I think it was a testament of, like, are they ready, right? Are they ready? Can they do a top 32 in the Pro 2 Championship? And I think 2020 answered it that yes, you could. And seeing the, yeah, no, we're gonna kill your feed, dog. Go ahead, don't talk. We still got, I think, Josh there. So just overall, the Pro 2, it's been great.
I think it's been amazing, and we've seen these guys. Here we have the Pro 2 final results, and Dmitry Brutsky, again, we were talking to him, our champion. And Jared, if you want to take it from here.
Yeah, Jonathan Hurst there in second, Joshua Love, who we just talked to, Rookie of the Year, Blake Olson, Balake Olson, Bay Olson in that CoreWorks BMW, Austin Mata obviously delivered as well in that S14, Mike Power, we saw him, again, get that first ever win in Irwindale, Nick Novak, and of course Chase Schmidt in that E36 wasn't there at Irwindale, did double duty. He'd actually drive in Pro 2, and he'd also help out Dylan Hughes. So here's a few highlights of the top 8 drivers in the 2020 Pro 2 season. There it is. Look at this. We got the whole gang here. I believe we have all 8. I know Blake Olson was on the fence, but I think joining us will be there's Chase Schmidt.
Chase.
We are seeing I see Hurst. I see Novak. I see quite a few faces here.
Mike Powers
and,
here.
Yeah, we got Mike Power. Singular, right? You're not Matt Powers. You're Mike Powers.
Mike
Singular.
Power.
No, sir. Just Power.
That's
Did I
right.
say Powers?
You said Powers.
Oh, I
it's
didn't
okay.
mean to. I knew better. Sorry, Mike.
Look,
I knew better.
Matt Powers came out before you, okay?
Wait.
He just had a baby. He deserves the respect, okay? I'm joking, but I'm sure you get all the time. And again, Matt Field, I sometimes call him Matt Powers as well.
Matt Powersfield.
Yeah, Matt Powersfield. As he's like a whole electrical battery system. We have all of our drivers here joining us. Finishing 8th overall, you can see them right here. Chase Schmidt, Chase right in the middle. Chase, pull on your ear if you're in an unsafe place and you need help. I don't know why you're in the darkest room possible. Your another human is grabbing it. I don't know. That's a weird flex. Chase, congratulations on finishing 8th. We didn't see you at Irwindale. What happened, man?
I got COVID and then was unable to come to Irwindale. Super bummed.
Are you
okay?
Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm all good. Everything's good now. I did my 2-week quarantine and I'm back at it. So yeah, really bummed out.
Yeah, I'm sure Dylan, like I said right before coming on here, you did double duty. You're helping out Dylan Hughes. You're doing your thing with the Pro 2 Championship. Are you proud? Are you bummed? Where are you at? Would you like to have ended higher, or what's up?
Yeah, I mean, I would have just liked to go to Irwindale. That track's really gnarly, and I've been wanting to drive it for a long, long time. And I was real jealous watching the live stream. I wish I could have been there. And I think I was 5th before that round, but nah, it is what it is. I got next year maybe.
Yeah, and I'm just going to go on a limb. You're going to stay in Pro 2 for the 2021 season?
Yeah, definitely.
How crucial is that? And I'm going to talk to all the Pro 2 drivers, quite a few drivers talked to here, but how crucial is that? I'll just jump to our next driver here. So Chase Schmidt, congratulations, finishing 8th. But jumping to our next driver who finished 7th, Nick Novak. Congratulations, finishing 7th. And yeah, man, that Coro works, you know, that vehicle, put it down. How important is it to get seat time? Head to head is way important, right? Was it nerve-wracking to not have qualifying and just going into the battles?
Actually, I think it helped me a little bit because in Pro-Am, the series that I ran, we didn't do qualifying. We had a tier system in Texas, and then in East 10, it was qualifying, but it was based on practice. So it was basically based on how you did when you were doing your best. And I feel like that way, getting as much seat time as possible, it helped a lot.
Nick, I feel like your safe space is inside your car. And at Irwindale, when I was chatting with you, a couple of times we went live on Instagram, and I walked up to you, and you were just, your hands were in your lap, and you were just staring straight ahead. Were at that point, were you visualizing the track and what you needed to do?
Yeah, just trying to stay calm, just not overthink things, and basically trying to stay out of my own head.
Yeah, I get it. You're a shy human being, Nick. It's okay. You're in a safe place. We're friends. It's just you. It's you, me, and Lorette. We're just talking. Overall, how was your experience here? Again, you're rookie coming into Pro 2, driving Irwindale. You get support from Coro Works. Overall, your experience.
It was an amazing season. I learned I can't speak. Sorry.
Look at me.
I learned.
Focus.
I learned a lot.
Turn on some Nickelback and we're good.
Yeah, no, I learned a lot and was very happy to end on a high note. So it started out on a rough road and ended out pretty well. So hoping to continue that next year.
Yeah, congratulations. While we wrap up Nick's thing, look at this photograph. That's his car riding on the wall at Irwindale. Look at that. There you go. Look at that thing. Here, get out of the way. Look at that photograph. That BMW.
So nice.
So good. Thank you, Nick. Again, congratulations. Finishing 6th overall. He's a singular. Miguel Power. Mike Power, congratulations. Calling in from his shop in New Jersey. And Novak, thanks again, as we will swipe left, swipe right, swipe to Mr. Mike Power. Mike, you're in your shop there? Is that where you're at? You're calling from a Home Depot and you pulled your car in. I don't think they're going to be happy with that, Mike. Is he buffering right now? I think he's buffering. He's frozen. Oh, he's Encino, man. We'll get back to Mike Power. Finishing 5th overall. I don't know if he was with us. He was pending. Mike, are you giggling now? Do we have Mike? Is he back?
You guys got me?
We got you, bro. So again, are you at Home Depot or are you at a garage?
I'm actually at Ruckus Garage in Corona, California.
Oh, shoot, you're down the freeway too. You, Mike,
and Lorette. We actually carpooled as well. What are you doing out here?
We should have done it.
What are you doing out here?
We're just chilling, just kicking back, enjoying the warm weather. And I'm actually sticking around until Winter Jam. Gonna go test out this car on Sonoma, get some good feedback, and maybe even some notes for next year if we end up running that track.
That's great.
That's so good. And Mike, this season may have started pretty rough for you. You got knocked out in top 32. That happened to you twice, the first 2 rounds, and then you got a 4th.
Why didn't you bring it up, Lorette?
Hey,
Jeez, let it go.
Because what I want to do is build and show exactly how much work he put in, because it would be so easy for him to just be like, shoot, I got knocked out top 32 2 rounds in a row, but you kept fighting and you kept going for it, and eventually you win Irwindale, right? So is that just the most amazing feeling in the world?
It's honestly impossible to explain that feeling of doing that at Irwindale, having that rough beginning to the season and then even halfway through the season just not going where we want to go and what we're trying to do. To have that turnaround and, get 4th in Texas and then move up to getting 1st in Irwindale, it was just felt so amazing. And I could really just only thank my team for just constantly believing in the abilities that we have, and just making it really easy for me to not get so down on myself and things like that when you're not doing good. And we just stayed headstrong and had our goal set, and we just kept with it, and it ended up working out for us. And I definitely definitely greatest moment of my life so far.
Yeah, I think that's what champions are made of, right? Because championships are won on the worst days or when the car breaks. And I think this was a question that I posed to Vaughn at Irwindale. But for you, you kept fighting and you kept moving forward. In those really hard moments, what did your team tell you to pull you out of this really negative headspace?
It was more of like an attitude. You know, I could be upset. I could get out of the car like knowing that I just got knocked out in top 32, and you know, everyone just looks at me and they're like, no one seems upset. They're like, you know what, dude, like you're trying your best every time. And you know, they just made it so easy to just grieve with the fact that we didn't do good, but that we still want it and we're still going to try and get there. So you know, even on my worst days at the track, I still had a great time. And every time I got out of the car, it was just, you know, my team is like my family, and their support throughout the season was definitely one of the biggest reasons why we're able to do so well towards the end of the year.
Well, I think, your style really developed. You really came on. You got familiar with the car. It's dancing, man. You went through dancing lessons. You stepped on some toes, but at the end of it, you did the waltz, and you took it all the way to the top, and you took smash dance, and you cried a little bit. So I think that's a sign of a good time, right?
You're never going to let the crying go.
Never gonna let you down.
I'm never going to let you go.
Never going to give you up.
Never going to give you up.
There you go.
Okay? I'm here to deserve you. What did you say? I hate you? Is that what you said? Look, I was correcting you on the power. There's one singular power, not multiple. This isn't divisible by.
Fault.
All right, congratulations to Lorette for messing up his name. Mike Power, Matt Power, whatever your name is, Powers. Mike Power, congratulations, man. Hey, are you sticking around in Pro 2 or are you going pro?
Yeah, so we're going to do another season in Pro 2. Obviously, I'd love to be in Pro 1. That's, you know, the reason why we're in Formula Drift in the first place. But, you know, after this year, we are on we got a good lead going for us. So I definitely want to stick with that and go into another Pro 2 season and try and just, you know, chop some heads off and get the podium more than, you know, once.
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck, congratulations, and Lorette, Mike Power.
Mike Power, good job, Mike Power.
And if you're clean and clear, maybe we'll grab a beer if you're out there in the 909, the IE. All right, here we go. So moving on, don't know if he's in the room. Blake Olson, are you there? Knock, knock. Who's there? Blake Olson, are you there? Oh, how about GREGG? Is he there representing CoroWorks? CoroWorks supported a few different drivers. I don't know if he was going to join us. I'm getting some in my ear. I'm not listening to Drake or anything like that right now. But okay, so Blake Olson finished 5th overall. Is Austin Mata? Is he in the building? Austin, are you there? He was there. Yes.
I'm here.
Hi, Austin.
What's up,
There you
homeboy?
are.
You're looking tropical. Where are you at? You got a Hawaiian
hat on.
But he is like
Well, you're calling from where?
Local Drucker Brewery in Fargo.
Speaking of beer, that's a great beer.
You're in the STL, correct?
No, I'm in Minnesota, Minneapolis.
That's right. You're in Minnesota.
All right. Hey, man, your season overall, your experience, how was it?
It was absolutely amazing. I got to give a big thank you to the whole FD team and everyone that made it happen, because with the time we're in, it's not easy. And if I don't know, all of us would be bored. I'm not gonna lie, we all know it. So just want to give you guys all a big thank you, but I also want to give my team a huge shout out, because if it wasn't for them, I would not been able to make it to any of the rounds. So, but it was good. It was amazing.
Yeah, that's so cool. And Austin, 2 third-place finishes. So how do you build on that and start continuously getting on that podium for the 21 season?
So I got to learn to stop knocking myself out and get out of my head. It's really just a head game. There's so much tension, and every single driver on the field is no one to play with. Like, it's something you have to take serious every chance. It's not like, oh, I can play it safe. Like, it's not that ever. So
do you feel like you
played it safe? Because I feel like you didn't. I feel like you put everything out on the line every run.
No, every run was 100%. There was never a chance where I was like, I can just give it 50 and hope for the best. It was always give it 110.
There's that X factor.
And I think that's what took Vaughn Gittin Jr. to his first championship in 2010. And he had to dial it back. It's, positive mental attitude, right? The PMA, and just getting it right and harnessing and focusing that energy. And sometimes you don't need to go to 10. Let's just go to 9. And I got to ask you, being a Pro 2 driver and being even a pro driver, they have admiration for different drivers. Whose driving style and which driver do you admire the most? Top to bottom. It could be program, could be driving, could be vehicle, any and all of that, or just singular. Who do you admire in the either pro? It could be Pro 2 as well.
I think one person I admire the most would be Alec Robbins, coming up as a rookie in Pro 1 and Pro 2, made his name for himself. Also, I'd like to say Chelsea Zanofa, just the way he kind of looks at like he said, every set of tires, or learning to drive his car at 60 or 80% throttle, which is hard to do, honestly. But yeah, I think those two would have to be, I think, the two drivers. If you'd make me pick one, it would probably be Alec Robbins.
I like that. And yeah, that's a great, again, just another Minnesota boy, so I can understand that. Lorette?
Driving together forever. MDU days way back in the day. So
yeah. MDU when he was driving a truck. What were you piloting back in the day?
I actually was driving a gray S13, which I still drive now, but it's just a fun bash car.
Awesome. Well, congratulations, man. And you're going to stay in Pro 2, I assume, this year? Or 2021, excuse me?
So I've had a couple people reach out, but more than likely going to stay Pro 2. I don't know if we're ready for the jump yet. We want to, like Mike said, that's the goal. That's the end thing here, is to be Pro 1, be with the big dogs. But
awesome.
I don't know, we're gonna play it by ear and see what happens.
That's good, man. Congratulations. Thank you for joining us here tonight. And again, congratulations overall. They're finishing third. Now we get our top 3. Finishing third overall, we talked to him earlier, our Rookie of the Year, Joshua Love. Fire on the mountain, homeboy. As Joshua Love, you are in the room, you are in the building. Lorette, I mean, we definitely inquired, Josh's love, and again, everybody, you want some? What was the motto again there, Josh? You want some loving too?
You want my loving.
Okay. Gosh, I feel dirty saying it. So I need to take a shower real quick. I'll be right back. Lorette, you got this.
Is that why you keep me saying it?
Exactly.
Oh, that's so cool. I mean, Josh,
we had such a great conversation with you with the Rookie of the Year conversation. Is there anything that we missed about you as a driver, or maybe even your team, that you want people to know about?
I mean, I still can't speak enough about my team. From day one, these guys are all some of my best friends, and just getting our car back together through Irwindale. And absolutely, this was all of our first season, not just mine. So, the credit, hats off to them. All the credit really goes to my team. Everybody doing everything that they could to make sure that I can just get out there and just drive the car is really what made the season so special for us.
That's like trust fall, right? Like, here we go. You're like, here we go, boys. Trust fall. Catch me. Here we go. And you take it out there, man. And you got to swing for the fences. It's a discredit or a disservice if you don't step up and rise to the occasion for what your team is putting your vehicle at, and then you got to deliver.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's so scary
for so many people to chase that dream, right? Because there's so many people that I feel get caught up what if I fail? But I feel like watching you drive, that was just never an option for you.
No, it's really not, and everyone, like I've said it before, but everyone in our 2020 season for Pro 2 has just been amazing. Watching everyone come from Pro-Am to here, I've been watching Pro 2 for years, and I feel like this is absolutely the best field that we've had. So having to go 110% every single run, it definitely takes a toll on you and the car and everything else. So,
yeah, I hear some dogs.
I hear some dogs in the background. What kind of dogs do you got?
I'm actually at a friend's house right now, so
cool.
they got a couple dogs. Yeah.
Nice.
Well, congratulations, Joshua Love. Again, Rookie of the Year, third overall. You should definitely be proud, and everybody definitely wants some loving. So moving on to who finished second overall, and I saw this gentleman throughout the year, seen him progress. This vehicle, this G37, has seen many different iterations over the years, and talking with him specifically at LS Fest earlier this year, he he had a great candor about him. He was looking to just progress as a driver, constantly learning, just being a sponge, driving with more people. I think that really contributes to his success here in the 2020 season. So, second overall Pro 2 2020 championship, that is Mr. Jonathan Hurst,
aka that Cash Racing G37.
Cool as a cucumber there. You got the flex with the S3 magazine on those wood boards. What's up, man? Where are you calling from?
How's it going? Paducah, Kentucky. Well, as you would say, Paducah.
Paducah.
How do you say it?
It's Paducah, I think. I mean, I assume, but you kept saying Paducah at the beginning of the year.
What's the difference?
Sorry, can you say it again?
No, he would be like Paducah, and he would make it. He put an emphasis. He would like make a.
So don't stress the dude. You gotta stress the
Yeah, no.
Okay,
got it.
So Paducah, Kentucky. All right, all joking aside, man, congratulations. You did really well, and I think you gained just a lot of fans, in Pro 2. Again, you took it to the top. Was that was in Texas? How did that come to be, Texas over any other round? But again, we saw you in the finals. You were always a contender.
Well, Texas was for sure like a really fast track, and you could use the horsepower a little bit to your advantage, but at the same time, you had to make sure you were conservative and run off the end of the track. I mean, we were watching like even the Pro 1 guys were overcooking it and going off track and stuff. So I had horsepower like on tap, but just making sure not to overuse it and go off track and then take myself out. And like a few of the other drivers said, I mean, it's kind of a head game. Been in Pro 2. This is my third year. And the first year, I was in my head a lot. And the second year, the same thing, kind of just, thinking too much line. And this year, like I really was taking a step back before approaching the line, being like, just hit my marks. The judges, are wanting you to really focus on the lead line. And so I'd make sure just not to take my own self out, except for in Seattle.
Well, you also had a really challenging start to Irwindale. And Irwindale, you were having some major car problems. Can you explain to everybody what you were experiencing?
For sure. So going into Irwindale, we knew that I had a top 32 battle. We got the bracket, and that really kind of was a bummer, like looking at the bracket and seeing all the buy runs and knowing that we were first in points and getting a top 32 run. And just like everyone said, you can't take anyone lightly. So we knew we'd have to be, 100% going in, especially with Novak. And so as soon as we went in Thursday, we made our first practice lap and the car didn't feel right. And came back to the line or came back to the pits and checked it out. Thought we had a plug wire down, and we did, replaced it and went and made another lap, and it didn't feel good. But just being the driver I am, I went ahead and pushed through, made like 10 clutch kicks to get through the lap, and knowing I should have never done that, and it blew the front seal out, and oil went everywhere, and the whole front end caught on fire. And it was probably the biggest fire I've been involved with in motorsports. And luckily, the FD staff, Matt Sopa and Max, they came out and they put it out real quick. But so we went back and thought we were okay, and guess we damaged the a bearing or something. It hurt the oil pressure. We were losing oil pressure. We fixed everything. It was down. It was 2 plug wires. They burned up on the header. With the turbo, it gets super hot. So it's crazy that just 2 little plug wires was detonating the engine enough to make it do that. And we after that we thought we fixed it and went out for one more practice lap Thursday. Actually, I think I talked to you, Lorette, and you're like, "Are you good?" I'm like, well, I think we are. We test drove it down the street, and it's completely legal. So test drove it, everything was good. And then the next lap, like oil pressure dropped in half. So me and my team, I can't thank them enough. We went back to the pits and tore the engine down Thursday night. Didn't know what we were going to do Friday morning. Woke up, found an engine builder. Rob Carlson and a couple other drivers reached out to us. Micah Diaz actually too. Took it to an engine builder, dropped it off at 8 in the morning. They dropped everything. They rebuilt the entire engine, pulled the crank, put another one. When we got back, got it all together and damaged the old oil pump in the other engine. So we had the next morning, we got back to the track, tried to rent a car, maybe just to get our points. No one was really like allowing us to rent a car, which probably didn't have the funds anyways to do so. But changed the oil pump that morning, got down about 30 minutes before first practice. And then we just didn't get very many practice laps. A couple people wrecked, I think I got 2 laps in practice, and going against Nick Novak, I tried to lay it all out there, and then what do you know, lead lap had an engine problem again. Coolant temp sensor came unplugged and shut the car down, so I didn't have any power. And then it was like I think Jared mentioned it, like I kind of was just driving, like left it all out there on my follow run, made a couple mistakes just because I knew that I had to do something to make up for my mistake.
Well, congratulations with all the. I mean, you're. Sorry, you were glitching there a little bit. I think my head's spinning, and so is the internet, because just going through your weekend at Irwindale, it's a lot to take in. And again, I think you should, like you said, I believe you're going to thank your sponsors there in closing.
My team, they stayed up all night with me. We thought we were going to have a vacation on Friday with the break. We thought we were going to go to the beach and everything. Well, we stayed at the track the whole time, getting the car back together. And then all my partners, a bunch of them reached out, and they've had a bunch of support, through the whole year. And, a lot of them reaching out now and trying to help out and get us back on track for 2021.
Well, again, I believe you were on a vacation. It's all about the journey, not the destination, but your destination lands you second overall in the 2020 Pro 2 Championship. Congratulations. We'll see you next year, 2021. Thank you so much, Mr. Jonathan Hurst, and that Cash Racing G37. And finally, our overall winner here, 2020 Pro 2 Championship, again from Massachusetts. Never settle was his motto. Let's take a look at some of the highlights of his season, because it was just all about that motto. It says it large on his chest like Superman, and here are some highlights of our overall champion in the 2020 season, Dmitry Brutsky, in that BMW E46. And Lorette, I love what you said just about him and his driving. But so let's take a look at Dmitry Brutsky.
Massive angle coming into the power alley. Curves. Really good execution by Brutsky. Look at just that angle compared to Misko. Woo! Brutsky. Nice initiation. Garrett Madison, both of them rapid. Safe line, mid to high. You can see right there, Brutsky. Now keeping it tight. Misko past that front flip. And Dmitry Brutsky is your Link ECU Pro 2 champion.
Dmitry, looking back at those highlights, does that feel like, holy cow, that driver's sick? Or is it like, holy cow, I did that? Or is it, holy cow, I got to do better?
It's all together.
It's all of that. It's D.
All of the above.
All the above, yes.
Again, we talked with you earlier about most improved. You said it was vehicle. But
I beg to differ. I think, like you said, mindset, just where you're at. And you said earlier, you build houses?
Yes, I do construction.
Okay. I didn't know that until you actually said that. Pardon my ignorance there, but.
So how many hours a week are you putting into your full-time job and then coming home and building your car?
The car, and it's still back in California. So, and Mike Powers, I'll see you at Winter Jams. So I'll be there. I'm flying out to a buddy and have some more fun driving. Yeah, I don't work on cars.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
He just shows up.
Arrive and drive with the ESSA Autosports program. Yep. What I was going to get at with the house building is, and that's what that great segue. Sorry. No, it's okay. It's okay. Lorette, we're in this together. Don't touch me. No, I'm just kidding. Practice COVID compliance. Yep. And so what I was going to say there is, it's analogously speaking, that you building houses, you can't just go frame to drywall to electrical. You hire the right guys for the right job, and you're more of a general contractor, right? You're kind of steering everybody. Am I correct in saying, utilizing that analogy?
Yes, sir. You're right. Absolutely right.
And that's it. That's all we got. That's what takes him to the top.
Story.
Was that
cool story, bro? Cool story, bro. I mean, just overall.
Like Lorette said earlier, I do give a lot of credit to my team, my Kalasa, the car and everything. But, to take a little bit of a credit that I can drive, I don't know if you guys know, but in St. Louis, I had zero practice, like absolutely zero track time. I had all these problems with the car. So the very first time when I pulled up to the start line was in top 16. So obviously I was nervous. I jumped the light, and I was trying to stay on track. And then I think like towards the last second to last or last corner when I saw the red flags and everything. I'm like, oh, wow. But at that moment, I felt good that I at least didn't go off track or kept it sideways. So returning back to the start line gave me a little bit more confidence and put down a decent lead run.
I'm so interested as a professional athlete. So you're sitting in your car and you don't have any practice and your heart's racing and your mind is going a million miles. What do you tell yourself in that moment?
At that point, I had nothing to lose and I just wanted to drive because I've been there for almost 3 days working on my car and not getting any laps. I'm like, I just want to go out there and drive. So I actually had more like a fun having state of mind instead of competition, and I guess it worked out very well. I actually ended up 4th place that time, and the only reason why I couldn't move on, my car kept shutting down right at the finish line because it was overheating and I had some problems with the car.
Well, congratulations, Dmitry Brutsky, our Link ECU Pro 2 champion. Thank you so much for joining us and just contributing to just a star-studded cast in that Link ECU Pro 2 championship. So congratulations overall, that ISC suspension, Achilles radial BMW operated by ESSA Autosports. Dmitry Brutsky, never settle. He definitely didn't settle because he took it to the top in that Link Engine Management Pro 2 Championship. Congratulations to you once again. Let's take a look back at a really, there's things that happen, in competition timeouts. Lorette is down on the ground asking all the questions. Ryan and I are the eyes in the sky. We're calling the action. It's all about perspective, but sometimes, you got to watch social media. You got to watch all these videos. Kevin's Corner. You're seeing all this really cool content coming out of FD Studios. Thank you to Kemp and his whole team behind the scenes for live stream. Thank you to Shabin and Richie and everybody behind the scenes, because sometimes it's all about perspective. So here's a little bit of a different perspective of the Formula Drift family in the 2020 season.
Okay, we only have 60 seconds.
The grit is what's scary.
Bring it, bro!
Yeah, we were talking about you.
We're talking smack.
Just a little bit like.
I'm seeking vengeance.
Okay, so we're gonna see some more wall pushing this?
No. We'll keep it clean.
You pooping? You don't need water in that thing, bro. Send it. Let's go. It's my engine. I want to blow it up.
Give me some tips.
You know that right pedal? All the way down.
It was. Woo! Yeah!
Stepping got it.
Like, I go to tracks I've never driven for before and just door and headlight everybody. And here, I don't know if it's just the attitude of everyone else's car. Always something to do.
Loving it or what?
I would rather be anywhere else than here right now.
How many pictures do you take every weekend?
It ranges. So if it's a really heavy event, I'll hit about maybe 30,000 photos.
Hopefully get my picture taken. Larry on the box.
Security out here. This is actually our biggest event. I actually learned how to enjoy drifting after being out here.
It's a really bad interview, by the way. Unused footage. It's gonna be like beeped out.
Beep, 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 beep. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Check, 1, 2. Oh, that's.
What are you talking about? No, I think it's a llama. Yeah.
That is the best.
How are you gonna use this? I can do this, man.
Into your video, maybe? I don't know.
Okay. I'll try.
There's some real shooters out here. Mean eyes. You can't even see my face. Mean eyes.
little Jimmy or something. He just grabbed me immediately.
Bumblebee, 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 bumblebee. Is that good?
It's so gnarly. It's so sick. This is all the stuff I really wanted to have done yesterday.
This route should be pretty good as long as you get a good jump out of the hole for most of the cars.
Bro, are you Aaron Parker? Holy cow!
Yep. All right. Well, I'm Jared Deenda, aka Bob Ross. This Halloween festivities, first time ever Formula Drift has landed on Halloween. So I figured we'd paint some happy little clouds. We're gonna be painting some happy little drift clouds.
Oh, you got Staples in there. Yeah. Oh, Halloween costume. Frankenstein, huh?
Dressed up as a character by the name of Rio from Yellowstone Ranch.
That's not a good impression, but it's in the ballpark. It buries them, brands them. This is the brand. The brand. They put it on their chest. That means you're part of the crew.
Listen, what are you wearing, by the way?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
I'm one of the merry men.
I know that.
Yes.
I've seen that before. Yeah.
We're wearing tights. Real men wear tights.
Yep. Y'all, how much film y'all got to waste?
Our car's broken, but we got the win.
Why has he got that on his head?
He got excited knowing he had to fix the car, and
Is this PG or R-rated?
I don't know either way.
Again?
That's what happened.
I've never been in top 4. I don't know how fast I gotta do things. No one's yelling at us yet.
Soundbite?
Sure, soundbite. Do I bite the mic? What's a soundbite? What's good? What's good? What's good?
Stayed. How do I say this? One more time. Yeah. I know. Let me go the other.
Mike, check. Check. Check.
Check, 1, 2. It's okay. Seems okay now. I just heard it again when I took it away from you. I'll try not to hold the bottom.
I get special power when I'm doing drift events. Like once I win one battle, like my star points go up, and then once I win another one, they go up more. And then I like finally get in the zone. I'm just like, all right, we're just drifting and doing battles with people. It's fun.
Chris drives the race car too. This is Chris's race car. Isn't that cool? Yeah, he's cool.
Good to it. Thank you. This is my brand too, it looks like.
Yeah. Perfect.
He's like, hell yeah!
3 M's.
this is what me and John Vargas would look like if we had a baby.
I was like, this can't be real right now. Last event of the season.
Hell yeah. I don't know. I'm not good at this, dude.
That's okay. We'll get into it. Just give me a little something about being stoked about being here.
Hell yeah, we're gonna win today.
Am I talking to the parrot on your shoulder again? All right on.
HQ or what?
In 15 minutes, you need snacks?
No, yeah.
You need snacks?
I need snacks.
All right, let's go get some snacks. You guys need snacks?
This is spice. It's like muy caliente out here. Your dick's dragging. Oh my God.
I'm no competition. I don't try to compare myself. I'm just me.
Freaking dial.
It's 30 points here at round 7.
Holy shit, what a serious straight up fairy tale.
For some reason, Irwindale was the one venue we don't have a podium finish at. No carbon trophy. Yeah, it was just amazing hearing my name being announced as the winner of the whole round.
So there is, again, a perspective there, just slapping people around. That was Zach Visser, another part of the FD Studios. Thank you to Shabin, Richie, and again, just all the team. Larry Chen and his team. You got Lewis, Leaf, and the whole gang. So thank you guys and gals for contributing, and the whole crew, along with the Formula Drift Traveling Circus. And Lorette, just you know, overall it's been fun. Got a little reverb over here, but I think it's just it's reflection. It's all about reflecting and reverbing on a 2020 season.
But this was amazing, and so we get to go into the pits at Irwindale, right? And so we get to take a back look at what's going on, and these teams and the drivers and the FD staff members and our photographers, our media folks. It's all one big, huge group that's trying so hard to run their passion for FD, for drifting, and to make the sport the best possible. So I'm so grateful that the 2020 season actually happened.
Yeah, it was an abbreviated double-header, triple-header weekend, but just watching this, Lorette and I are recounting just a quick 4 weekends. It's like, it feels like it just started yesterday, and it just ended literally the other day. 8 stops. You know, I mean, some of the largest views overall, and just everybody's a fan of it. So thank you. Share it with all your friends. Let everybody know, you know, 1, we're live, and 2, that you can watch this again, of course. But again, let's take a look at 8 stops of the Pro Championship. And it all culminated in Irwindale, and there were some amazing moments throughout this year, and it all started in St. Louis at Worldwide Technology Raceway Park. And yeah, you know, this course has seen many different iterations. And the other thing is, you know, Ryan Turk, Frederick Osbo, you know, Frederick says, hey, here's the keys to this Corolla. Osbo, brand new Supra, he comes out swinging.
Yeah, and I think that's a really great point that you just made, Jared, is that this was a really tight technical course. And so the guys all were dealing with this for the first time, and they really had to dial it in really quickly. So here we have, is that Matt Field?
That is Odie Bakshis and Chelsea Denofa.
So, you know, these two, Chelsea in the chase position, again, looking so good, and Odie just, man, there was so much hype around Odie, and I feel like he came in really quietly and confidently. Yeah, I feel like he is going to be a championship contender.
Odie's a testament to just hard work pays off and seat time. I mean, seeing him back at Vegas drift events with Nick Dizon and his whole team in Vegas, just the progression of his driving and just developing into being one of the best chase drivers, you know, in the world. And then obviously the crash or the pass heard around the world, or failure of a pass, the contact heard around the world of two Mustangs, the Brostangs, Pollock and Von Gittin Jr. made for just, you know, it's called what it is, drama. Save the drama for your mama or the drama llama. Regardless, it was a good time.
Yeah, it was. And for Von Gittin Jr. to take back-to-back wins, he was so pumped, and he said that he was finally able to trust in himself, and he wasn't worried about what anybody else was doing.
Yeah, you really kept pressing that. You're like, trust in yourself.
Trust in yourself.
Believe in one side of hang in there. You're like a successor. I saw like a kitten hanging there. And then Von Gittin, these old school cats, these are OGs. Von Gittin Jr., Chris the Force Forsberg. Forsberg eventually does get the win, as people always make fun of me for saying. But, you know, then moving on to Irwindale, Frederick Osbo, you know, who's fighting for a championship. This has happened to him. Just another season for him where he's another bridesmaid. He wants to get back on top, but just still hold his head high because, you know, he has one of the best in the biz at the helm of his whole team, and that's Stefan Papadakis. He'll tell you, we're still developing this car. This is the first year this vehicle's out, so he should definitely be proud.
Yeah, I think so too. And what a crazy year to debut a new chassis, right? Both him and Ken Gucci debuting the 2020 Supra, and so they're trying to dial it in, trying to get comfortable. And here Chelsea Denofa was in that lead run.
Yeah, Chelsea and Odie, and like Odie said there in closing, this is a track that has escaped him, and there you're having that moment with Von Gittin Jr. That was about the championship, but Odie winning that final round. So it was really interesting how Irwindale has always escaped him. You know, he's never won carbon, never held carbon at this iconic House of Drift. He's drifted there multitude of times, and maybe it was just Amy in his ear, his wife and spotter, saying, you got this, babe.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, let's give out some awards here, and our first award is our fan favorite car of 2020 in the Pro Championship. Now, all right, there's 2 fan favorites. So the 2 fan favorites are fan favorite car and driver, and yes, Adam LZ. Which, man, I got to tell you, I've said it, and I'll say it again. I got to say, I love all the cars, you know, just like I love my 2 children, but I like one a little more. I'm joking. I love both you, Parker and Tyson, of course. But Adam LZ, you are not my child, but I definitely love your car. I will take ownership. We can have joint custody if you want. Speaking of children, my child. 2020 fan favorite car and driver, voted by the fans, is Adam LZ. And Adam LZ joins us here. He's in the building, and it looks like a big popsicle. What's that big stick? Is this Adam Bandicoot who's joining us here? And there he is.
He's in a magical forest.
Yeah, the Crash Bandicoot background suits you. You crashed not so much. I mean, not terribly. I think you had a tremendous season. We're going to talk to you in a little bit, but dude, summarize your 2020 pro experience.
Man, it was crazy. I think I've mentioned quite a bit. I wasn't even planning to go into Pro 1, and just kind of the whole COVID situation just kind of presented an opportunity to where I could, essentially on a very similar budget to running Pro 2, take advantage of the Pro 1 license and kind of get my feet wet and figure out kind of a good stepping stone year. And it certainly was. From our very first event to the last, we've learned so much as a team, and I don't know, it's just learning experience. I think is the best way to summarize this year.
Yeah, and Adam, I think the elephant in the room is that you've worked so hard for your social media following, and you are so busy in the pits. You are constantly taking photos, you're asked for videos, you're updating your content, and so last year when you went into Pro 2 and you stepped into Pro this year, what were your expectations of yourself?
I knew it was going to be difficult. I think the driving was the thing that I was most concerned about, but we learned so much as a team during Pro 2 that I felt very confident in my program. Really, I mean, just I knew it was going to be different not having fans at some of the rounds and a lot of new tracks, and expectation-wise, I was just expecting going in to, not really do that well and just get as much information and learn as much as I can on this season.
I hope that you surprised yourself. Sorry, Jared, but really, I hope that you surprised yourself because I feel like you surprised a lot of people in the FD field.
Yeah, I want to say I surprised myself, but it's one of those things you can do, but you don't know if it's actually going to happen.
Sure.
I wouldn't do Pro 1 if I didn't think I have what it takes to be competitive. So I didn't surprise myself in that sense, but I don't know. It's always surprising to, be able to drive with some of the guys you've looked up to for so long and be a contender.
Yeah, you got this, kid, right? You got this, and you got to get in your own head and talk about it. Again, like Lorette said, your fans are just ravenous. They love you. You got long lines when we did have some attendees there and practice social distancing and all that. But this was voted by the fans. Fan favorite car, fan favorite driver. I got to ask you, did you build your car with your fans in mind, or are you just selfishly, you have this kind of J style mixed with your own style, and you have just an arsenal of vehicles? Again, do you build something according to the fans, or do you build something to win?
From an aesthetic standpoint, I feel like how the car looks doesn't really have anything to do with it being competitive or not. It was definitely higher than I would have liked it to be, but that's just kind of what it takes to make the car function properly. But from an aesthetic standpoint, no, it's the car that I wanted to build and what I wanted to look like. The last year that I did in Pro 2, I really wanted a crazy livery, but there wasn't time. And my mindset was it's an all or nothing thing. And I didn't want to do a livery if it wasn't the best livery I could possibly ever imagine. And this year I was able to get with Michael from D-Magic, and he's one of my favorite artists when it comes to livery, and to have him kind of be in control of the livery on the car. And I just knew it was going to be great, and it was.
Did you give him any stipulations, or did you just say, go wild?
I knew I wanted to fade. I really wanted to, I kind of was stuck with the chassis being powder coated like a copper color. So the only colors that in my head I could kind of get away with was that yellow and red family. So I decided I would just do a fade with those colors and kind of let him run free with a couple different design elements and ideas based on other cars he's done in the past.
Well, right on. Well, congratulations again. That was voted on by the fans. And again, you have quite a fan base, so congratulations. Fan favorite car and driver of the 2020 Pro Championship. And we'll catch up with you in a little bit because you obviously earned another accolade as well. So thank you so much, Adam LZ.
Thank you.
All right, moving right along, we have our 2020 Most Improved Driver of the Year in the Pro Championship. Now, this driver has made so much noise over the years when he debuted this vehicle 3 years ago. And love kind of just the persona he's taking on. It really embodies kind of his Georgia style, him and his wife and his family and just the livery overall. But this is all about performance. So this is the 2020 Pro Most Improved Driver of the Year, ranked 24 in 2019, jumps up, what is that, 14 spots to 10th in the 2020 season. This is Taylor Full Pull Hole. Lorette, I mean, just from 3 years ago to now,
Yep.
I mean, I don't want to say he's impressed me because just like Adam said, like, you have it, but putting it together, that's another story.
Well, you have to have a lot of confidence to debut a brand new chassis in FD, right? And so for us to never see a Cadillac before and him knowing, look, I'm going to develop this, I'm going to work with this, I'm going to make this a winning car.
Yep.
And he has put his heart on the line, as as his wife has too.
Yeah.
And so it's just been really a great moment. I was able to chat with him in St. Louis, and that was a really magical moment for both of us. And I'm really proud of what they've been able to accomplish.
Yeah, I mean, Taylor Full Pull Hole overall just really embodies kind of the Intimidator vibe. So
Yep.
he is chiming in with us right now, and guess what? I mean, his backdrop looks
Yay.
good. I mean, you are set up for Christmas, baby. Look at this. after Irwindale, just seeing you guys girl cross country. Oh my God.
Easy for you to say.
Easy for me to spray. So you guys going cross country back home. It's got to feel good just getting and receiving this Most Improved Driver of the Year overall, right?
Yeah, it's amazing. And my wife's had this set up since before Thanksgiving. So we came to a beautiful Christmas. She likes to celebrate it like 11 months out of the year. So it's been great. But yeah, to be able to get Most Improved, man, that's it's a humbling thing. It's just really kind of unbelievable, the journey that we've been on since I came into pro, in 2017, and just this, backyard shop. I built the car out of a 2-car garage in a neighborhood to kind of where we are now, which I'm still behind my house. But it's our program has just grown leaps and bounds, and our team has, and our partnerships. It's just unbelievable to be part of this series and running against my idols, and kind of looking at where we started versus where we are now, and seeing kind of our neighbors in points with people that I like I say, like really look up to, like Justin Pollock, and being around Di and Matt, and it's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
Are you crying a little bit? You getting choked up?
Not yet. That was a one and done until I get to the podium.
Sorry about that, man. I just went for it. Yep. Sorry. I feel like stress does a lot of different things to people, to drivers, to athletes, to announcers.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know. Do you enjoy that stress, or do you not really enjoy the experience? And the reason I ask is because we went from single standing events to double headers, where you really had to have everything in order from one night to the next. So do you enjoy that type of stress?
So I kind of look at it a couple different ways. First and foremost, I think if we're in a situation where we're stressed out, it's probably a blessing, because that means we're doing well and progressing. And if we're stressed out and getting progressively more stressed out, that means we're continuing to progress on in the event and win battles. So yeah, bring on the stress, and we'll relax once we get to the end of it, whether we get knocked out or get on the podium. And yeah, I actually really kind of like the double headers. It was a lot of fun, and I enjoyed no qualifying. I think that was really neat too. And I think it added to the show, because we were able to just unload Thursday for practice and just start our tandem practice, and that was really cool.
Yeah, and just Taylor, I believe, correct me if I'm not mistaken, I believe you and I met at LS Fest as well, and just seeing you progress through the years and driving at LS Fest, Holly Performance, and then also just at Georgia, going from that S chassis over to this vehicle. Why a Cadillac ATS-V? I mean, Comp Cams jumps on, this car is underdeveloped. There was another one, a couple years ago, but is it advantageous to jump in this vehicle? I mean, why'd you do that?
So we wanted to do something a little bit newer. Just it's 20 20 now. It was 2018 when we built that car. We wanted to be, newer and relevant for, our partners and bringing on some, homegrown American partners. We wanted to be in an American chassis, and I really like being a unique kind of guy that does different things and, not cookie cutter stuff. So we wanted to do something that had never been done. So the Cadillac definitely had never been done. And it was definitely quite the learning experience and quite the development process that we had to go through. We had some really good partners to help us along the way, but it was frustrating to say the least for those first couple of years. And now we finally have put the pieces together. And if the car runs the whole time, we're able to drive a lot more and get better is what we've figured out. So now it's running good and I'm driving better, and it's just been unbelievable experience.
Well, congratulations again. The most improved driver of the year, Taylor Hull, from 24th to 10th in the 2020 season. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much.
Well, and as they say at Chick-fil-A, my pleasure.
So there you go. Taylor Hull. I had to do it. I had to do it. Sorry. I had to do it. All right.
Move to our next award here, and this is 2020 Pro Rookie of the Year. We just talked to him, and, Loretta, I think you asked a great question. Did you feel like you had it, coming together? You don't really commit unless you have it, right? I mean, and this driver put it together. Yeah. I mean, it was really impressive. So our 2020 Pro Rookie of the Year, this is based on points, and Adam LZ finished 12th overall. Again, his fans are ravenous. Car looks good. He performs well. He puts it together. I mean, just an arsenal of vehicles, but to put it all together for him. And he got dealt some tough hands.
I was just thinking that.
Champion.
Yep.
Yo, I heard you like champions, dog. Let's put more champions in there.
Absolutely. So in St. Louis, he faces Chris Forsberg straight away. And then he goes after Frederick Osbo. Yep. And then he gets dealt with
I think it was Vaughn. Yeah, Vaughn gets
and then I'm pretty sure he hit another champion at some point. Was it Essa?
I believe so.
Or Dye. Maybe all of them.
Yeah.
I think for a rookie coming in and having so much pressure put on him, Adam LZ, honestly, I just feel like you should be so proud of yourself.
I appreciate that.
Here's your Participation Trophy Award. Congratulations. Here's your 2020 Participation Trophy Award. Adam, just overall, would you change anything about your chassis going into the 2021 season? I assume you're going to stay pro. We talked, we had our kind of high octane talk there, and you were actually kind of saying like, oh, I'm not going to do pro, let's not talk about that. And then that opportunity arises. I think that the stars aligned, it worked out for you, and it just worked out in spades. But 20 to 21, what do you think?
I think we've got a great program. I think we've got a great car. There's definitely some stuff that we can kind of bulletproof in the drivetrain and kind of make the car a little bit easier to service on those 5-minute calls, and really just have something that, we don't have to worry about car issues. Because I feel like a lot of the rounds, we were kind of combating car issues and band-aiding things, but thankfully the team performed exceptionally and was able to constantly come up with fix after fix with very little time to keep me out there. And, there's very, very little driving that I missed.
Yeah, and with those competition timeouts, were those so overwhelming for you to deal with? I mean, you guys dialed it in, but when it first happened, how did you and the team discuss what you guys were going to, go after and change and fix?
I don't recall exactly all the intricate details of the 5-minute calls in my head right now, but like when those were going on, I'm just kind of in the zone. I'm staying in the seat, like ready to drive. And I'm just confident. I know that everyone on the team's got my back and they'll make the car drivable. And if there's something, bubblegum together, I don't need to know about it and we'll be good.
And that's like, that's like Brutski, right? I mean, seeing this Pro 2 field and how they've come up, you're in Pro 2 last year. The Pro 2 field is stacked. They're coming. They're nipping at your heels, right? And just, from your Pro 2 season where it was what'd you call the make-believe race team? What was your kind of motto you called yourself?
Oh, the pretend race team.
Pretend race team.
You're not a pretend race team anymore, bro. Would you agree with that? I don't think you adopted that coming into this season, correct?
Yeah, I feel like for Pro 2 that it kind of worked, and it was kind of like a funny thing. If I did terribly, it was like, it's just pretend. And we were just trying to have fun with it and like not take it too seriously. But going into Pro 1, there's room for fun, but like for fun in games and to not take it seriously.
you can't. These dudes are so good. They're like robots. Their cars are fantastic. You need to be every ounce of focus you possibly can be.
I think it's a disservice to the whole field, right? If you're like, oh, we're make believe and you do better than somebody else, it's like, you know. So, I mean, overall, I got to ask you, whose program do you admire most? You know, because again, you're a YouTuber. You've created a lot of content over the years. You have an arsenal of vehicles. Again, you have GTRS. I'll happily take the keys from you, no problem. But overall, whose program do you admire the most?
I would say for sure, you know, what Vaughn has created with RTR is insane. You know, I'd rival that to be the closest thing to any sort of NASCAR professional, like crazy tier F1 team with their engine program, their chassis, their crew. It's so dialed, it's so professional. They're on top of their game. They have spares lined up, and that's for sure goals. And someone, and both drivers, Chelsea as well, I've looked up to from so many aspects: driving, their program, how they handle themselves. Definitely those guys for sure.
Well, congratulations again. Fan favorite driver, fan favorite car of the year, rookie of the year, going and finishing 12th overall. Congratulations, Adam LZ. Right on. All right, moving right along. This is all about style. So again, from vehicles, this is actually best drifting style. So the execution of the driving, and this is our 2020 best drifting style. And guess what? Chris Forsberg gets the win. There you have it. So Chris Forsberg gets the win here. Let's take a look at some of his highlights. You know, he's had just kind of an interesting year. He was a contender in the championship, but just being in the series, and again, this is voted on by the peers. So 17 years in, he's still gaining the respect of his peers. Three-time champion. He's the only current, you know, three-time champion competing in the 2020 season, and just overall bringing his Nissan. He's only driven a Nissan and Nissan powered until that final round when he did have some unlucky happenings, Lorette. But that was a sensational moment, right?
That was so good.
The stunt tire. How did he make that work?
Tire. But you know, I think it speaks volumes of his dedication to his craft as well, right? He's always looking to up his style, up his game, to improve. And
I think he's lazy.
You
I think he's terribly lazy.
Like a rogue.
Nope.
No, but that's, you know, and to be voted on by your peers, I mean, that must mean a lot.
There we go. So Chris Forsberg is in the building. What is up, homeboy?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? How are you?
I was joking about you being lazy. I know you're thrashing on your project car, the Ultima, or what do you call it? Ultimaniac.
The Ultimaniac, yeah, that's right. No, it's the crazy new build that me and Jimmy been working on, and you know, like Dylan's been helping out as well in the car, and it's all hands on deck trying to get that thing done because you know we're always down the party, you know.
Yeah. No, it's weird flex with your 3 trophies back there. None are this year, but
come on.
Yeah, they look great. It looks good. I could see the reflection of you in it. It looks awesome. Your 2020 season, your experience, it was ups and downs. You got to win. You haven't won in, was it 3 years? Was it 2017?
I thought it was Orlando 2018.
What was it?
2018.
Look,
Yeah,
I got a lot of drifting in my head. I know you guys are thesaurus, but my mind's like an Etch-a-Sketch. But best drifting style, that's got to feel good coming from your peers.
It really does, you know, and you know, I think that we made some changes to the car, especially after last year. But even going into last season, I really attribute it to not just, you know, the guys and the team, you know, for dialing the car and making it really nimble and drivable, but like the big change that we did last year was we changed up our suspension and setup, you know, really trying to max out the angle and getting that thing to flick and snap harder. And it took a minute to dial it in last year, but yeah, this year that thing is just, you know, it felt really in control, really dialed, and it was just a super fun car to drive all year.
Yeah, that's so cool. And Chris, how would you describe your drifting style?
I don't know, kind of erratic.
Wait, fantastic.
You say erratic?
Yeah. I mean, like, you know, I feel like we always went for like the consistency is what matters, and that's how you win championships and so on. But I feel like in the past few years, it's really turned into, you know, big snaps, hard flicks, and big angle. And, you know, I'll be honest, like we didn't really have that for a while because it was just like focusing on just being smooth and consistent and nailing the line every time. And I feel like somewhere around, you know, last year, it turned into, you know, just like big angle and like, you know, having a lot of impact in your driving. So even though we didn't have qualifying this year, I felt like that was important and that the car was just really dialed in and hooked up well all year long.
You were actually pretty excited that there wasn't qualifying, is that right?
Yeah, because I never get to qualify, or I don't mean to say get to, but I barely get into the top 10. Like the random times I do, it's like a fluke, you know. I'm always like somewhere between 8 and 12 every time. I don't know. That's just where I land.
I was wondering if you knew why.
Oh, this poor guy. Woe is me. Oh, somewhere between 8 and 12 always. Boo-hoo. Don't feel bad for you, Chris. Sorry, you cut out. I can't hear you. What? You're sorry, what did you say?
I said I got 2 5-runs this year, which is 2 more than I got last year, so I'll take them.
You qualified number 1 twice. There you go, baby. I mean, I think you even I think it was still second. You never got number 1.
Both times.
Yeah, right. So when was the last time you qualified number 1?
You remember?
Do you remember?
It was. God, I want to say it was 2007, maybe. No, I got one in 2014. I think was the last one.
4 scored 7
There you go, Chris Forsberg. He was a baby. He couldn't grow a beard back then.
Wow.
Looking through the ledger.
Went through the Dewey Decimal System to find it. 20.
Well,
Go ahead.
I feel like you got a lot of practice time at Irwindale, and so like the 4 tracks that we went to, St. Louis, Monroe, Texas, Irwindale. Is Irwindale where you're the most comfortable?
Well, you tell me. You were in the car.
I know, man. It was the best day ever. That was so good. I got out of the car and I'm like, that was awesome.
I just peed a little bit.
I didn't, but yeah. No,
The adrenaline.
I mean,
You're cutting him off. Go ahead.
I know. Well, he asked me, so I'm going to tell you guys now.
Okay, Chris, shut up.
It was amazing. And I think what a lot of people maybe don't realize is how much movement and how much violence is actually in the car. There's so much going on, and when you're, as a non-driver, as I was sitting in your car, just facing down that straightaway, looking at that wall, outer zone 1, all of a sudden, you're heading straight towards it, and then as soon as they clutch kick, oh my God, it's the most exhilarating experience I think ever. There we go.
I mean, this is how I tell everyone, like, you got to get in the car, you got to go for a ride, because that is what puts drifting on the next level. And yeah, we got some track time at Irwindale earlier this year. When things started shutting down, Irwindale was still open, so I organized a couple track days for myself and some of the other local drivers to go out and shake the cars down, because we didn't know when the schedule was coming up, and we just wanted to make sure we're good to go. And yeah, we had that car like up on the wall, like feeling good and giving some rides, but at the same time, just getting some testing and just a little bit of seat time, because we haven't been in the cars in so long. And so as we were getting into this past rounds at Irwindale, I was just feeling really good, real comfortable. Right off the trailer, we're putting it on the wall, and the car was dialed in and feeling rock solid. And then we had the failure. And then at that point, it was just like wind out of the sails, like just trying to recoup whatever we could to get through the weekend. We still had 2 more rounds to do. We had the motor failure on Thursday night, so it was just depressing, for lack of better words.
All right. Well, the culmination of a season. It was a wacky, wild. Chalk it up to 2020. Thanks, 2020. The fire tire. That was a sensational moment. A few people did it this year. Mm-hmm. Answer, why did it happen to your car, and why do you think it happened so much this year? We hadn't seen it like your Password JDM S15 back in the day, but a few drivers, it combusted into flames, went back to the future. Where we're going, we don't need any roads. What's up?
Yeah, I mean, it seems that there's there's a lot of like oils and things that are burning off of the tire, which is like what creates the smoke. And so if you catch like just the right backfire off the exhaust, and like the car's at the right angle and the wind's blowing it towards the tire and it ignites, because it happened to me a couple times in 2017, and then we changed the exhaust system and it didn't catch for a while, and then we did a new exhaust this year. Maybe like the angle is just right again, so you just get that like big rev limit drop off the clutch, and it just sends that backfire and lights the tire up. So it happens.
Well, I'll let you get back
to the Ultimaniac project. Again, thank you and congratulations, Chris Forsberg. 2020 Best Drifting Style. Peace out. There you go. All right, so Chris Forsberg gets the win there. Now we're moving on to our next award, 2020 Pro Hardest Charger, bro. And this gentleman definitely turns it up to 11. And Chelsea, you can call me a girl Denofa, because there is a girl Denofa and a boy Denofa. So the 2020 Hardest Charging Driver, Chelsea Denofa, as we take a look at some of his highlights here in the season. And we saw him in St. Louis really come alive, just getting these Mustangs dialed, and a few people, Austin, we were talking with Adam LZ, a lot of them like the way Chelsea is driving. I feel like we're in Fight Club right now, and some other picture's going to show up, but this driver has definitely earned my respect over the years, and love what he's done, and just him and Vaughn. On paper, when Vaughn told me he was going to be joining the team, I would have said, I don't know, man, but it makes perfect sense. What, 4 years later? There we go. Chelsea Denofa joining us here.
Hey, Chelsea.
Four years, right?
Yeah, year 4.
All right.
Going into 5.
Again, congratulations.
Again, earning the respect of your peers. They verbally said it from Pro 2 drivers, from Pro. Again, Adam LZ and your peers saying, dude, good job. Hats off to you, man. You put it together in St. Louis. You finished, obviously, second overall to your boss. I mean, good job. Good strategy there, keeping your job. But
yeah, I had to let him win one.
I get it. It's good. Like I said, great strategy.
Great strategy. Overall, hardest charger. You're voted by your peers. It's got to be awesome.
Yeah, no, it feels great. I mean, I definitely charge as hard as calculated possibility this year. It's been a wild last few years in the Mustang, and learning that the car will stick sometimes when you don't think it will, and that it will stop sometimes. Sorry for everybody that I've smashed into trying to charge hard. But I think I figured out the balance of that. It took me a little while.
You want to rattle off
names, RIP, and put them on the headstones of the vehicles?
Yeah, go for it.
But
I think we got a good balance this year. Oops, sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
We're talking over each other.
I know.
But yeah, no, it's good balance, and I think that obviously it's great to win that award because that's why I drive Formula D. There's a lot of awards here that are rad, but for me, that's the most important thing. So it's great to win that, and I'll just keep charging hard. It's a balance of pushing to win a championship, charging hard enough and not too hard, as you've announced many, many times. I hear you oh, he overdrive it. Oh, he did this. I'm like, I'm just trying to win the hardest charger award, man. Just let it be. But yeah, overall, it's just been awesome. I'm loving it.
And Chelsea, I feel like a lot, well, I don't know if I want to say a lot or most of, or the entire field of FD came into St. Louis, right? And we were all rusty. And I feel like you drove your event, round number 1. And did you and Vaughn have a meeting together where both of you are like, look, we know what we need to do. We need to stop worrying about what other people are going to do. And we just need to focus at the job at hand. Did that happen to you?
Sort of. We have meetings all the time. I mean, it's we're always trying to improve each other. So we're always talking about, hey, I think you might be pushing too hard here, or hey, these guys are doing this, or hey, it's the first event of the year. A lot of these guys are just getting it figured out. Don't go out and just drive 120% because, you'll make a mistake, and also maybe they will, and you'll be pushing too hard. So, it was definitely a conversation to be had. We had it. And I think Vaughn and I just had a lot of seat time and a lot of stirred up, we're going to go smash a hole in this. And, maybe we just drove a little too hard and had to back it down. But yeah, it was definitely a conversation we had. And I think going into round 2 at that event, driving, at the 75 to 80% on average, and then turning it up at certain spots when we needed to, it put me on the number 1 spot. So I was pretty pumped to get that balance out of the way, early in the season.
Yeah, and you guys, I mean, you got a lot of seat time. You and Vaughn, and let's just call it what it is, Vaughn and the RTR team, you guys are busy. Regardless of COVID, you guys are shooting commercials. I mean, early on, we partied in St. Louis at St. Louis Auto Show, and that feels like years ago, but that was February. And then just after that, the train didn't stop with Formula Drift. So I would attribute that, your success, yours and Vaughn's, to, never stop stopping, right? You guys kept jamming, kept banging away, and seat time is critical. So, I mean, what would you say to an aspiring amateur driver, somebody watching this that wants to get into Pro 2, Pro? What would you say to them?
Yeah, I mean, seat time is king. To be honest with you, I literally feel like I have such an upper hand over most of the field because I drive 3 days a week, every week. It's insane. I probably drift 200 days out of the year. at the School of Drift, at all of our RTR demos for our partners, at Formula D, at some, I judge some Pro-Am events and all that, and I drive at all of them. We teach classes all over. So seat time is absolutely king. Buying and getting a car that is all that you need and not much more, and just focusing on reliability and spending the money on tires and track times and supporting your local events is going to just, give you that upper hand of track time aspect, and then just trying to be better every single lap and picking one thing to focus on for each lap to get better. And until you achieve that one thing, don't try a second thing, and then move on to the next one thing and the next one thing until you're driving an FD with us.
Well, congratulations,
Lorette. Again, I know you officiated the Chelsea's wedding.
I did. I loved it.
Yeah, it was awesome. And I know you guys both like dogs, so, let's let you guys go ahead, talk amongst yourself. No, regardless, congratulations, Chelsea. You're gunning for this. Again, turn it to 11. Hardest charging driver of 2020, Chelsea DeNofa. Let's move on to our next award here, 2020 Pro Spirit of Drifting. Now, this is just the embodiment of, just getting to the show, having fun, and not to take anything away from any of the other drivers, right? And just it's you gotta love this stuff. You gotta be in it. And like Hurst says, man, I thought we were gonna be on a vacation. Well, sometimes people would consider this a vacation. Sometimes people are praying for where you're at. So, don't take it in stride. So, two drivers that, two Pro Spirit Drifting of the Year 2020 winners, because it was a tie. Jeff Jones and I'll tell you in a moment who the other one is. But Jeff Jones, what a spirit. He finished his best ever, 4th overall in that Doc Edelbrock, GT Radial 370Z. Love what he's done overall, just this 2020 season. And just through the years, he's progressed. He's having fun. And he said, I had Larry Chen over the other day at my house, and we did a podcast. And I asked him, and he says, man, I was waiting for Jeff Jones, because he said, if I won, I'm taking my Edelbrock supercharger off and taking it to the podium with me. But right now, I feel like he's just chilling on his couch. Here he is.
Hey, Jeff
Jones. Jeff Jones, Spirit of Drifting Award winner. And also 2020 Spirit of Drifting Award winner, Rome Charpentier. So both you guys were tied, and I think for kind of multiple different reasons. Spirit, embodiment, being tenacious, and also Rome, Jeff, there you are chilling. I like this. Right? Jeff, since we got you here chilling, El Barto, your 2020 season was one for the record books. I mean, right? I talked to you at Irwindale, and you were stoked. Your mom was there. Your wife was there. Your crew was there. 2020, one for the books.
What up, dudes? Yeah, it was what a crazy season, right? Didn't even know if it was going to happen when it started, and then just tried to learn from our mistakes and send it as hard as we could, and had our crew there, and it's just, what do you even say? Before I even get into it, thank you, Chris Jackson, Greg Leone, my wife Christina, Alpha, Jeff Ring, Mark, all the dudes. Those are my buddies. Those are my family. Those guys came in, kept the car going for me, man. So thank you to that.
And Jeff, I feel like one of the highlights of the events was, if you advanced, that I got to talk to you, because you're always such a mystery, right? We don't know what story that you're going to be telling us, but you always have that smile. And even when things got really tough at Texas, it was round 2 in Texas, you had advanced into the top 16 but couldn't compete. You still told the story of how grateful you were. And I think that's a testament not only to you and your attitude, but the support team that you have in your team.
Yeah, it's, every day it's perspective and what we get to do in life. And we're out here racing. I'm racing my friends. And like with Rome, I couldn't think of another guy to share Spirit of Drifting with. And so I'm just super happy every time I get to go out and drift and hang out with these guys, legends that I looked up to when I was first getting in drifting, Forsberg and Vaughn. I've always looked up to those guys. And just my worst day at, Formula G is someone's best day, right? So it's great every single time, especially when my wife gets to make it out. Drifting, Formula D, I love it. It's how do you not smile when you're doing this?
I love it. I love it.
Two things.
Yep.
You made Chris Forsberg and Vaughn Gittin Jr. feel old because you said they're people that you looked up to when you first started drifting. And the second one is, what bourbon are you drinking?
We're keeping it simple right now. Jack Daniel's Tennessee Honey goes good.
Okay, all right. I like that little sweet nectar. I'm with that. So I got to throw it over to your co-winner here. And I liked what you said. Couldn't think of anybody else to kind of share this award with here in 2020 because this man not endured a lot of things on the track, but he endured a lot of things off the track. The 2020 Spirit of Drifting co-winner, Rome Charpentier, the Garagistic E36, which I mistakenly thought it was a 4-door, but duh, it's a 2-door. I don't know why I thought it was a 4-door. My bad, Rome. But Rome, just an amazing year for you overall. Got to meet your dad. We wrapped out in St. Louis after the accident happened in New Mexico, which I'm glad everybody's okay, including the vehicle, but more importantly, you and your crew and your team. I mean, just Spirit of Drifting. You're welcome and congratulations, and you deserve it, right?
Rome, can you hear me?
I think he's waiting for a question.
Rome. I think we may be muted. I don't know. I'm not sure. But Rome, you look good. You got some trophies behind you. Maybe we can figure this out. I think Jeff is still smiling here. Lorette, maybe you could hear your tone.
Hey, Rome, can you hear us? If you can hear us. Again, we're live. This is the first time that we've ever done the virtual banquet online, and I think this is a really great
opportunity. We're selling tires. We got tires here. We got trophies. Here we are. FD channel. We are going live. I'll sell that trophy real quick. Ryan and Jim won't even notice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal. I will happily sell that thing.
Yeah. But I think for Jeff Jones
and for Rome sharing this award, it makes so much sense, right? Because we heard the story of Rome Charpentier, who they were driving the truck and the rig in New Mexico, and unfortunately there was some road construction out there, and it just, unfortunately, it flipped the vehicle. It flipped the truck, it flipped the trailer, and Rome did everything possible to get the trailer, to get a new trailer, to get the car unpacked, to get the tools unpacked, and you know, again,
and it's happened a couple times this year with vehicles being stolen, or you know, some things happen. The camaraderie and that spirit does really just, you know, push over into pro. Just because they're pro doesn't mean they're not human and still fans of the sport.
Go get him.
And it looks
Hey,
like
Rome.
now let's throw it over Rome. We are live, baby. We got double thumbs up.
Yeah.
Little technical glitch there, but we are talking you up. So congratulations, you and Jeff Jones, the 2020 Spirit of Drifting Award winner. Tumultuous on the track, fun experience. Got a smile on your face. We hung out at Grid Life as well, there at the Bayou Bash. But, you know, quite a contrary, too. You don't drink at all. Jeff is chugging all the Jack Daniels, Honey, Texas, whatever it is. Dude, congratulations, man. And rightfully so. You deserve it.
Thank you. Yeah, it's awesome. First of all, it's an honor to be here just in FD in general. I mean, 4 years ago, it was a dream for us to drive Formula Drift. And it's funny that Denofa said he drove 200 days. I remember back in SEMA 2 years ago, I'm like, hey, how do I get into FD? He's like, I don't know, drive 50 days, you should be good. So went out there, we drove like 78 days, made it to Pro 2. And then we're like, all right, what do we got to do to go Pro 1? He's like, drive more. Okay. So we just kept driving. And it's an honor to be here with Jeff as well, because I was Jeff's crew chief that year. Or not crew chief, but like crew guy that year. So it was awesome to work on Jeff's team. And just see all the ups and downs and struggles and stuff we had to go through as a team, and then realize, like, is this something I really want to do? I'm like, yeah, the camaraderie, the team effort, other teams helping out, and it's always rewarding. I mean, like you said earlier, the worst day in FD is still probably a better day than 90% of people out there, and it's I mean, I love every bit of it. Even when we ended up crashing the rig, as you said earlier, it was not fun, but to open my phone up and see how much like help and support we had at 3 a.m. in Gallup, New Mexico was insane. I mean, that's when I knew we're headed towards the right thing. We were not giving up. We were doing math to see if I retune the car at 91, can I make it there on all the fuel we have and still make it work? So we were going to do anything. I don't know if we were going to plateau it, drive it, drag it behind something. I mean, if it ran, we were going to make it there no matter what. So our team and our family is 100% committed to this.
Yeah, no, but look at what you did, right? You checked your entire team. You checked on your wife. Is everyone okay? Is anyone hurt? No? Okay, how do we get the rig, the car, the tools to St. Louis? And that's what you started working on. And so between you and Jeff Jones, this is a very well-deserved award for both of you.
Well, thank you. It's awesome to be here with him, like I said, and with everyone else that we look up to. I mean, the driver I look up to the most in Pro 1, which is weird because we're in Pro 1 now as well, is Odie. And our very first battle of Pro 1 was, hey, you got Odie. I'm like, oh, this is fun. All right, here we go. Let's make this happen. So it was kind of a rough start to Pro 1 for sure. Flipping a truck and trailer, having to find a new truck, a new trailer on the way back, and then first battle, him, and then I'm like, all right, cool. Like another driver we look up to. We ended up battling Vaughn right after that. So I was like, oh, this is a unique way of breaking into Pro 1 for sure.
Totally. Yeah.
Well, you got to win before you show up, right? You got to win before you show up. And Rome, I talked to you, or I said, we hung out at Grid Life Bayou Bash, and I liked what you said there to the Drift Riot guys. You said, man, you just got to keep driving, man, and you learned a lot just by being part of Jeff's team and working with him and just aspiring, keep it going, because even, we're going to get to our overall championship winner, Vaughn Gittin Jr., and I think he has the same sentiments of just keep pushing, right? You got to keep moving.
And it's believing that you can do it, like believing it's possible. And that was one of the big things with us in partnering up with Garagistic this year, was that they believed that we could make it happen. And that was just, at the end of the day, I think self-belief and belief on the team and support and trust is what really makes all of FD go around. So that's basically what we rely on at the end of the day, is just believing and trusting that we can make it happen no matter what.
Yeah, it might sound corny, but teamwork makes the dream work, man, and it does pay off. So it is live, laugh, love, and live, laugh, drift. I don't know. So all the Karens out there are loving it. Congratulations again, Rome and Jeff. Thank you for being part. Jeff, thank you so much, homeboy. Cheers to you and your wife and your dogs. I know you're a dog guy as well, so cheers. And
we're watching together.
Hey,
high five, Jeff.
High five, Rome. We're going to competition later on. So Rome will see you in our sim comp.
There we
Let's
go.
do
These
it.
guys are linking up again.
Rome's the DD because Jeff's going to party tonight. So, all right, moving on to our next. Oh, this is all about the crew, man. And but congratulations. But so let's move on to our crew awards, because this is all about basically the people that are behind the scenes. Sometimes you see them in front of the competition timeout cameras, right? I mean, Lorette, you're down there in the mix, and you see some of those people, they're dirty, they're thrashing. You saw them get cut. You're talking about Mario cutting his head and all this thing. So these 4 awards, we got the Pro Spotter of the Year. Those are the eyes and ears in the sky, right? They're the eyes in the sky, but they're also the ears because they're talking to the driver. You got your Crew Member of the Year. That is one of the dirtiest. Again, they're kind of in front of the camera when that competition timeout clock starts. Kevin drops it, they're thrashing, they're going. And you got your Crew Chief of the Year, kind of wrangling all the workers, right? And then you have the Team Manager of the Year. That's logistics, that's flights, that's managing the vehicles, making sure they get there on time. So there's 4 awards overall of the Crew Awards. So Spotter, Crew Member, Crew Chief, and Team Manager. So we jump into our first one. Again, the eyes in the sky and the ears in the driver's head. The 2020 Pro Spotter of the Year award winner is Stefan Papadakis. He is Frederick Osbo's spotter, and also, obviously, Papadakis is a busy man. So, again, our 2020 Spotter of the Year is Stefan Papadakis. Congratulations to Stefan. What is up, homeboy, as Stefan joins us not too far from here. You look good, as you can see double me here, but we're about to see a much more handsome and more of a Greek gentleman right here. Stefan, overall, your 2020 experience, and you kind of had this Spirit of Drifting award as well, because I'd say, hey man, sorry about this. You're like, hey, it's cool. We're still just dialing in the car. It's still developmental.
Yeah, all of us are, I think everybody in the series is really car guys, and we just really like to build new, exciting, challenging builds and essentially go out to the Formula Drift events and test them and see how they work against everybody else's builds. And I think that's us on the crew side. We try to work as much with the drivers as we can, but I think the drivers have that different competition, which is, you know, kind of driver versus driver. And that whole team together, if you have the really good car and you also have the really good driver, obviously that leads to wins. Yeah, man, we're just doing what we love.
I know you say that you're doing what you love, and what I appreciate the most about you is that I know that I can, if the time's
right, always ask you what's going on. And I've had experiences, and I don't know if I've told you this before, but I'll talk to a driver or even a crew chief, and they'll tell me a whole litany of what's going wrong. And then they'll tell me, but that's off the record. But you have told me multiple times, ask me whatever. Ask me whatever. I will tell you everything. And I think that honesty is really amazing, and I appreciate it. So thank you. I don't have a question. I just wanted to say thank you.
Yeah, you know, look, I'm a motorsports fan in the way that I love to see, you know, the way the cars are built and see them perform on track and see, you know, what the drivers can do with these cars. And I think there's a lot of people that, you know, they're just enthusiasts and are tech guys that like to work on the cars and are interested in the tech of the car as well, not just who won the event. And I guess it's just a way of kind of being the kind of doing the kind of interview that I wish I would see more in motorsport, where they talk about the intricacies of the vehicle, pop the hood more, show us what happened, what broke, and the improvements and stuff that they're making on the cars.
I love your open book mentality, Stefan. And again, I've known you.
Shoot, back to 97, man. Just seeing you develop, just, you know, from drag racing, you being a drifter, saying, all right, maybe I don't have the talent compared to Tanner or somebody like that. And now you stay in your lane, right? I don't mean to sound rude, but you know, that's just where you're at. Know your role, man. I'm never going to drift. I'm going to keep announcing. That's what I got to do. So I admire, like, you know, all that you've done. But not only are you 2020 Spotter of the Year, but you are also the 2020 Pro Team Manager of the Year. So congratulations to you. Not only are you in the ear of Frederick Osbo, but you have managed and wrangled not only one, not two, but 3 vehicles. So congratulations, man.
Thank you. Yeah, it's this year has been a treat to work with Frederick, Ryan, and Jonathan. We've got an amazing team. You know, Sean and Aldo every day at the shop. And then we've had Dominic helping us out quite a bit. And of course, Mario, Nick, Matt, and Jen Horsey in the background doing, you know, it's a whole team of people, and Mitch and Nate as well. So yeah, man, we've got a great team, and I guess it makes me look good, and people.
So the next question.
So thanks for that.
Yeah.
Congratulations. The next question is, who are you wearing this evening? I'm joking. I was joking.
You want to see some funny?
What's that?
Yeah. So earlier I had like almost pajamas on, hanging out at the house. I'm like, I want to put a shirt on.
Tag
Got my sweatpants on though.
Appreciate it. And that's 2020. You know, and you know, you rattled off all those names, and again, they don't go thankless at all, and they know you're kind of part. You know, you just got to work, man. It's just that Rubik's cube, and you're just so analytical. You're so as a matter of fact, but it's paid off in dividends with multiple championships, and you're still going to work hard. You're still going to bang away. You have to win before you show up, and all the technical advancements and everything. You're on the forefront of that. But also, I got to ask you, how critical is a spotter in the equation of driving? Because team manager, you're managing people, you're managing vehicles, all that. You're managing development. I mean, your YouTube has blown up. Your insight on building, you know, just Osbo's vehicle in itself. Prior to that, the Corolla. But how critical is a spotter?
Yeah, so I think it really depends on the driver. I think Frederick is quite important because he really wants to plan out each one of the runs and know what the competition is doing. And you know, we definitely had a couple of wins this year, and we won a lot of rounds, but there were some parts that I actually made a mistake as spotter. Like if we remember back to St. Louis, where Matt Field cut over, you know, really hard, really, I mean, you know, totally allowed to do that. But I think it was the spotter's job to know, hey, Matt Field's been cutting over, or you've been a little bit close, you know, you're leaving yourself open to being hit. And things like that are where the spotter can really show their value, is not only, you know, telling them, like giving them, rooting them on, but also, hey, watch out for this.
Yeah, and when do you decide to talk to Freddie or lay out?
You know how many times like we'll go into the final, and I'm literally, before I hit like talk on the radio, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna take a deep breath and make sure I have a calm voice in order to make sure that he's still calm. And he'll be really excited after like a top 4 win or something. I'm like, look, man, hold on. We still have one more guy to send to the trailer. And yeah, it's probably 50% mental and 50% technical.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations, man. Again, not only
Spotter of the year, and that's an accolade in itself. Congratulations, because like you said, that is a critical component, really absorbing all of the driver insight, what's going on, but also 2020 Manager of the Year, Stefan Papadakis. Congratulations, man.
Thank you. Thanks,
Peace out, man. Thank you. We'll see you in 2021. Easy for me to say. All right, moving on. Our crew member of the year. And again, this is somebody that's part of a crew, right? And you traditionally see them, you know, they're kind of this unsung hero, but you see them shine probably most when competition timeouts happen. And you see the 5-minute clock go down. So our 2020 Crew Member of the Year award winner is somebody who's been shredding a lot lately in his FC, Jason Dixon, part of the RTR crew. We've shared some good times, and you know, I've seen him down at Freedom Factory partying in his own FC RX-7. And Jason, turn your phone sideways there, homeboy, and we get a full screen. There we go. Look at that. Are you working hard or hardly working right now?
Actually on my way to another event, so hardly working.
There,
that's the way it gets done, man.
Where are you going?
Yeah, go ahead, Laura.
Sorry.
No, please.
100 Drifters of December, Summit Point, West Virginia.
That's sick. That's great. Again, we were texting earlier this week. I saw you down at Freedom Factory and doing all that. 2020 Crew Member of the Year. I mean, are you stoked?
I mean, I did not think I'd ever be receiving anything from FD. It's been a dream of mine to even be a part of an FD team, so to receive an award's pretty surreal.
But this is voted on by your peers. So not only did FD nominate you, you know, but your peers within the entire paddock. So that must be pretty special.
It is. You know, I do make my rounds around the paddock and, you know, try and check on everybody, make sure everybody's, you know, nobody, even opposing teams, need a hand with anything. If I'm just walking around seeing anybody's really, you know, struggling or anything like that. So it's interesting. I mean, to say the least.
2020's been a tumultuous year, and I just, you know, for everybody, it's just been really interesting, and the camaraderie is tremendous. I got to ask you, what team would you not go and help if you know, something hit the fan? What team would you definitely not help at all?
That is tricky.
Well, I mean,
don't answer that, Jason. You answer that.
He's sending you into a sand trap, is what he's doing.
Don't answer that.
I don't think there's anybody I wouldn't help.
That's the right answer, and that. Yep, you are correct. That was the correct answer we were looking for. You win, Charlie. You win the Chocolate Factory. Congratulations, Jason Dixon. You know what? Go drift, buddy. You deserve it. Congratulations, 2020 Crew Member of the Year, Jason Dixon, part of the RTR Ready to Rock family. Congrats.
Thank you.
I love it. He's pulled to the side of the road, ready to go to another drift event. I really wonder who he would not help.
You
hey, dude,
are an instigator,
Yes,
is what you are.
Jason, go away. Go drive. Go.
Be careful.
All right. Bye. 2020 Pro Crew Chief of the Year. So, like I said, spotter, crew member. We already talked about team manager, but somewhere in between, you have your crew chief. So this wrangles more of the multiple Jason Dixons, right? So our crew chief of the year, look at this guy, coming all the way from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, but now residing in the CFR shop, slick back, looking good, cool and good. He is here live, your crew chief of the year, James Caldwell. I've never called you James, but I will now. Jimmy Jam. Congratulations, bro. 2020 Crew Chief of the Year, James Caldwell.
That's amazing. Stop calling me that, Jared.
No,
sorry. Jaime Caldwell. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Hey, Yimmy.
Jimmy, you're a busy man right now. You are working on the Ultimaniac. Chris just set you up. That was the same backdrop. You didn't win any of those trophies. Those are all Chris's. I'm joking.
I would love to thank you guys. Actually, this is very heavy. Thank you for this award. I'll thank my peers enough for it. Fantastic.
Jimmy, you know, what just overall being a crew chief, wrangling, you guys had a really tight team this year. So it's critical that communication is key. And Chris was talking about developing, changing. I mean, here you are, Nissan vehicle, Nissan, engine and power plant. That gets interesting because you're working, you could easily just throw an LS in there, throw a supercharger and be done. But to develop the VR engine, work with that, work with these components, changing, all these things, because Chris is really loyal to the Nissan Brown. How difficult is that?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's very difficult, but it's thankfully worked out very well for the past 2 years with that engine package. The VK-V8 cars were awesome, sounded amazing, but this just really elevated the car to the next level. Like Chris was saying earlier about changing some suspension stuff, really improved the car dramatically as well. But all in all, we're really honing in on a good package as far as the entire car is.
Jimmy, you guys, you're on the ground with me, and so whenever there's a 5-minute call, I'll normally run over with my camera guy, and it's you, Danny, and Darren, and Chris. Normally, if he needs to jump out of the car, he can, but how do you designate who does what in such a short period of time?
That's actually very hard to do because you never know what the situation is going to be until the car is back and kind of coming off the tow truck and kind of peek around a little bit. But it's like kind of fly by the moment kind of thing. You hope that you put the right person on for the job, and like we all work great as a team. Chris always hops out of the car and helps as well, which is generally beneficial but unnecessary probably at times.
More sometimes in the way as opposed to helping.
Just tell him to sit in the car.
Hey, Lorette touched on this with Jason Dixon, our crew member of the year, crew chief of the year. This is voted on by peers. Mm-hmm. So I think that speaks to itself amongst people saying like, I respect this guy. I might not like him, but gosh damn it, I respect him.
I think everyone likes you, Jimmy. Just saying.
No.
I'll take it.
I'm just saying, your peers voting for you. That's got to be pretty special.
It definitely means a lot because it is like it's a community, everyone out there, and it's just love how everything works together collaboratively. And need a part or help with something. Generally, everybody's willing to help out.
Well, congratulations, man. James Caldwell, Jaime Caldwell, you know him as Jimmy. Congratulations, iConcepts. You can find him at iConcepts on Instagram. He's already taken ladies, so don't try sliding into those DMs.
Yeah. Hi,
but you
Amber.
can slide back into working on the Ultimaniac. Congratulations, Jim Caldwell, your crew chief of the year 2020 for the Pro Formula Drift Championship. Jimmy Jam Caldwell.
Congrats.
Thanks.
That's it. All right, cool and good. All right. So now, here it is. Our top 3 ranked. Our top 3. Our top 3 overall. See that trophy right there? That's a championship trophy. That's number 1. But we got top 3. Our top 3. And finishing 3rd overall, Ryan Turk. Ryan Turk in that Gum Out Toyota Racing Toyota Corolla hatchback finishes in 3rd place. Lorette, overall, Ryan Turk, jumping into a new vehicle, it's intimidating, and especially that the vehicle's proven with Frederick Osbo behind the wheel.
And I feel like Ryan was very honest this year. I don't know what his expectations are. I think he does have that championship mindset. Mm-hmm. I don't know if he necessarily expected I don't know where he expected to finish, but every round he made sure that he drove his best. And so trying to get used to a brand new car and trying to learn everything and trying to find the end of it where the the walls were, I think he should be really proud of the effort that he put forth.
Yeah, I like that. Being honest, setting the precedence. He knows overall the responsibility that is. So you know what? Congratulations to you, Ryan Turk. And as like Lorette said, just honest, setting that precedence. He knows the vehicle's capable. Big shoes to fill, and just coming out of the gate swinging with that. In that pre-video that they talked about, it'd be great to be 1-2. I know Ryan would love to be like on top of Frederick Osbo, but ended up Osbo Turk 1-2 for the Toyota family. So congratulations to him. So he is not available to chime in and wrap out with us, but let's go ahead and roll. No, he is not. But we could talk to Biddies if Biddies is in the room. Mr. Brian Hartsock, I believe we might have him here because Ryan Turk is currently under a project right now. Hey. So we got Biddies in the room, and Biddies, as you are known, Mr. Brian Hartsock. And
you know my name.
I know. I do know your name. I apologize. But where are you calling us from, Biddies?
I'm in the shop.
You look tired, bro.
You look tired.
I've just been hanging out waiting for this.
Well, apologize for this. Where is Ryan right now?
Probably working out somewhere. I'm not sure.
Oh, what a jab. Undisclosed location. Formula Supra, working on multiple projects. Hey, man, jumping to this vehicle, you got to be stoked on this. You personally working on that vehicle, being part of this team. I mean, you've seen Ryan Turk's progression, as a driver yourself. You enjoy driving, but, for multiple different vehicles, from Solstices, the S13s to, 86s, you worked on that, the Gum Out 86 team. And now jumping in and working with, one of the most successful drift teams of all time. And Ryan finishing 3rd overall, it's a great accomplishment.
Yeah, it's been really cool. I've worked with Ryan since 2012, I think. We built the GT86 and went through some hard times with different teams, but he kept me around and then moved me up to crew chief a few years ago. And we did well. And then being able to work with Steph and Papadakis Racing, that was kind of a dream come true, I think, for all of us. We've always looked up to them, and they run the program real tight, and they brought us in and treated us like family, and it's been a good experience.
That's amazing.
Congratulations to you, man. Just working hard, keeping it up. I know you're a new father, you and your wife. So congratulations. We'll let you get some rest, man. Relax. Thanks for tuning in. Congratulations to you and
this is how I look, I got resting bitch face.
No, I didn't say RBC, bro. I didn't say that. Or RBF, excuse me. You sounded, I could hear it in your breath. You got some race boots up there. Congratulations to you and the team, Ryan Turk, because actually Ryan is working. He's working feverishly, again, multiple different projects. So Ryan sent in an acceptance speech on his own behalf. Congratulations, Ryan Turk. And here he is.
What's up, guys? I want to say a massive thank you for all the support this season, all the positive comments. You guys really lift my spirits on some of those tougher days, and just reading through and the support that you guys give is definitely unmatched. So thank you for all of you in my corner. I appreciate it and hope to see you guys in a normal championship series next season. I'd also like to thank the Papadakis Racing team and my team for being just adapting so well together and becoming such a family so quickly. Brian Hartsock from Unicorn Garage, Dominic from Dominant Engineering, and Nick Byatt. The guys performed awesome this year and were phenomenal at the track and adapting to the new, to us, Toyota Racing Corolla hatchback. So thank you guys, and thank you to all my supporters, Gum Out, Nitto Tire, Mobile One, Toyota Racing, Super Tech, BC Racing, Rockstar Energy, Rotiform, Puma Motorsport, Race Service, Driving Line. Everybody out there has all made this come true. It's been 10 years since I've had one of these, and I'm looking to do it even better next year and hopefully take down some Mustangs for that top spot.
So congratulations there, Ryan Turk grabbing 3rd place overall and moving on to 2nd place overall in the 2020 Formula Drift Pro Championship. It is Chelsea Denofa. Chelsea Denofa, who he says, I'm just gunning for the hardest charger driver of the year. And with that, he earns 2nd overall, Lorette.
Yeah, and so Chelsea just really found his groove early on in the season and took that win in Seattle for round number 2, in St. Louis. And I love watching Chelsea drive. I love that aggressive style. And all drivers, I feel like they know that Chelsea's going to drive straight up, he's going to drive aggressively, and they better bring their A game.
Yeah, he has that, again, just that style that I think Matt Field, Chelsea Denofa, there's certain drivers just that have that kind of ruin your day kind of style. Like, oh man, he came out of left field, just that left hook. If it's a boxing match, it's unprovoked, just that uppercut. And I hate watching that clip because when he jumped off the wall, he broke his heel, so it pains me. But he's put his body through a bunch of abuse over the years, from BMX, skateboarding, listening to My Chemical Romance in Wisconsin, or having some White Castle or whatever it may be. He's got a smile on his face. 2nd overall in the championship. Thinking back to winning at Long Beach in a BMW, all these things, here you are, man. You're on a factory program with Ford. You're working with one of the best in the biz. It's interesting. Do you care sharing on how that came about, you working with Vaughn Gittin Jr.?
If not, it's okay.
I'll just keep it short. I had one of the worst weekends of my life. I blew my motor up first lap at Irwindale, and then borrowed Odie's car and smashed that thing into the wall so bad and had to fix it in 20 minutes to get it back on track with a whole new right side of the car that didn't match the left. It was and then didn't qualify for the event by a foot because I lifted out of the throttle early, trying to save his car and all that, and they zeroed me for it. So I was like, you know what, I'm so over doing this all on my own. And I'm going to go talk to Vaughn and tell him I'm driving for him. And I walked into the trailer and I was like, hey, man, I heard you have a 2nd car. I'm driving it. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, yo, you put a 2nd car together. I don't care what it takes. I'm going to drive it. I'll sweep the floors. I'll do whatever I need to, I'm doing it. And, obviously we had some things we had to iron out and some details, but that's pretty much how it went. He was kind of surprised, you weren't really on the list to drive that car. But I'm like, well, there is no list. It's just me. Everyone else, you can call them and tell them not to worry, because I'm the dude, And I had been driving for a long time, and I felt that it was time to drive for someone that could help me and grow me. And I thought that Vaughn and RTR were the best way to do that. And I think that I thought correctly at this point. I mean, I'm only the first loser of Formula D for this year, so it's pretty good.
Well, Chelsea, this is your best finish. So how do you make that jump to the championship?
Well, 40 points this year. I mean, that's all it was. No, but it's funny because I was talking to my team and I'm like, I'm so happy for you guys. I'm so happy for Vaughn. The team did the best, from the shop to the marketing to the car to the maintenance to the reliability to the attitudes to everything. It was like the dream team, right? Everybody did the best. We finished 1st and 2nd. The only one that can improve is me now. So let me just, get those extra 41 points and, win a championship.
There you go. Big Chelsea
energy. That's what we're talking about right now. BCE. And you delivered. Again, you go for that hardest charging driver, and the payoff is that you lose to the boss. But where does it stand, the record between you and Vaughn right now? Because I think that's the big differentiating factor, is beating the boss.
Well, I was beating him for a while. I was 3 or 4-0. And then we both just started crashing against each other and not finishing runs. We would line up to the grid and the team would be like, all right, guys, we still got to drive tomorrow. So let's not end it so soon. And, I think Vaughn and I both were turn the radio off, let's jam. And it didn't end very well the last few times for me. So he's gotten the record up, and I think he's actually ahead of me in wins by 1 now.
Right. Send it to end it, as I would say. So he is Bowser, and you got to beat him next year, Luigi.
I just I enter the first turn and I hear you saying, send it. I'm like, I'm gonna send it.
Totally got you, bro.
There's the wall. Send it.
Okay, bumper budget. Speaking of bumper budget, let's bring in your teammate, the boss, talking about Bowser. Here he is, RTR, ready to rock your 2020 Formula Drift Pro Champion, Vaughn Gittin Jr. And there he is, round of applause. He is dressed to impress, and here he is, running the wall at Seattle. Seattle was where it just all came to fruition. It just coagulated like a fine, like what do you call it in the kombucha? The what do you call it? Yeah, I don't know. Like yogurt. It just coagulated well.
And this was amazing to watch Vaughn because he had been fighting for this. He had been fighting for this win and for that moment, and to be able to do that back to back was really incredible. And to see how much it still means to an OG, right? Someone who's been here from the beginning, who's done pretty much every single event except for one in Texas. It meant, sorry, I wasn't trying to rub that in, Vaughn. It was just
pick the
like
scab,
that's
Lorette. It's known.
Right?
It is known. It's factual.
He's done everything, right? He's made the effort. He's gone for every single event. And so to come into Seattle and you see that emotion on your face and you see that you've been fighting and you felt that moment, it was really incredible. And I appreciate how candid you were with me.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I'm just me, and I've focused very much on trying to retain that through, all of this craziness that living and chasing this dream has become. And we all have emotions, and that was a moment for me. Not only just being on the road and missing the family, but we've been fighting hard, and had a couple tough years, but obviously this year it's all come together, and it feels really good.
Vaughn, you've put it all together 10 years later. Again, this has kind of escaped you. And, who do you admire? Because I asked, I got to ask you, because I've asked like Adam LZ and some of the Pro 2 drivers, but whose program do you admire? Because a lot of people admire you. I got to ask you amongst your peers, because you got Jason Dixon, your boy, who won Crew Member of the Year. You got Adam LZ, who's worked with Chelsea. And Jeff Jones, not to make you feel old, he says he grew up watching you. But whose program do you admire amongst the FD field?
Yeah, I think, I don't think it's necessarily a program. I think, I got a lot of respect and admiration for all the guys that are coming up. I know how hard this is. I know how much harder it's gotten from when we started, in 2004. So, to see the new guys that are coming in from Pro 2 and fighting and battling, I got a lot of respect for them. One thing I really loved this year was seeing Jeff Jones' success. I've been watching him just fight for it, and he is just his heart. I love that he won the Spirit of Drift, because it's him. He's got heart for days, has never given up, and to see him this year getting up, fourth place, almost getting on the box, is just really, really cool. And I got a lot of admiration for people that work hard and chase their dreams as a whole. It's not, to me, about the program or what you drive or the team you have. It's about that. So yeah, all the guys that are doing it, and the future of our sport. I think it's we need that, and it takes a lot.
Good job nurturing it as well.
Yeah, and speaking of nurturing, that was a really great segue. Thank you for that. Talk about your teammate in Chelsea Denofa and his heart and his dedication.
1 and 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool to relive the moment when he walked in my trailer just now when he was chatting. That was one of those moments that you're like, damn, like this dude, not only does he put it down the track, but he'll just throw it all out there. And straight up, that's why we are together now. That he had the will and the belief in himself to walk in that trailer and made me believe in that moment that he was the guy. And, he's backed it up all the way around the board, from the, commercial side. We both made an investment year one. He's continued to make investments to continue to make this work. And it's all, really starting to pay off now for him in that aspect. And, he's become so much more than I ever had imagined when he walked in that trailer. We thought we were bringing on a driver, but we were truly bringing on, a team member and somebody that was not only going to get behind the wheel of the car and do well and make our partners happy, but somebody that was going to has made us all better. It's a really special thing that we have with the RTR team. We all push each other. Chelsea pushes me. I push him. We challenge each other. And it's just extremely, extremely special. And, I'm extremely grateful for what we have collectively. I don't want it to end. It's just such a rad, amazing thing that we have together. And so it's been a lot of fun, and watching his success. He wins the hard charger, award that my early days I won. I think probably 04 to way early on. Leading up to winning the championship, and it's really cool that he's won it, also earning a second place, because it's really easy to charge hard. It's really hard to know when to do it. And like he mentioned, he's getting that balance, and, I straight up, he's the best driver out there, and he just needs to be on, and he's gonna get that big one very, very soon. And I'm excited to watch it happen.
Yeah, it's wreckers or checkers, right? And unfortunately, you guys have wreckers into each other a couple times, and but obviously, it's checkers for you, checkered flags, man. Congratulations to you, Vaughn. It was 40 points that separated you and Chelsea, 1 and 2. Let's talk about moving forward, 2021. Cool story. You won the championship. What about next year, Vaughn?
Yeah, so funny. I'm literally been sitting in this exact room since 8 a.m. this morning with my commercial team, our the executive team, and just making plans. Just looking at the schedule, laying out the events that I'll be doing. Chelsea, the events we'll be doing together, and of course the off-road program with Lauren, and then I'm obviously very involved in that and excited for the new Bronco to be coming out. And so we got a very busy year that I'm grateful. I think we're all grateful to have the opportunity to have. And so a lot of really cool things, this electric Mustang Mach-E 1400 that we built, the new Mustang Mach-E coming out, a lot of great opportunities for us to have some fun and play with a new, power plant. Electric is exciting, and it's literally mind blowing to explain it. And it really is. And we're excited to be learning and evolving with the times with that.
Lorette, any closing statements? Any questions for Vaughn?
Vaughn, I think along the lines of what I said to you at Irwindale was a champion wins on his hardest days.
Yep.
And again, between you and Chelsea and the entire team, your heart, your dedication, the tenacity to your craft shows every time you hit the track. And so I wanted to thank you for your candor. I wanted to thank you for your honesty, and just congratulations.
Thank you very much, Lorette and Jared. Much love, my friend. It's very nice to see you guys. Thank you. And thank you to all the fans. This has been a tough year, and shout out to all the teams that make these trophies worth something, make the effort, and keep creating the challenges that can make somebody like myself keep coming back, 17 years in a row. And so, it's a really special thing we've got going with drifting. It's one of those sports that is just I think a representation that you can live your dream, and you can achieve whatever you believe in, and are willing to put the effort towards make happen. And I see guys do it every weekend on the track, and it's great inspiration all the way around. So much love and respect to everybody, and thank you all for the support. And let's do it again, Chelsea.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Right.
Well, congratulations, Vaughn Gittin Jr., Chelsea Nofa, Ryan Turk. You're 1, 2, and 3. Here's your trophy. We'll send it to you in the mail. Congratulations once again. Thank you, Lorette. Thank you to our whole Formula Drift staff. A championship has been crowned. That's Vaughn Gittin Jr. Again, getting 2020 championship overall. Thank you to Dmitry Brutsky for working hard on that Pro 2 championship. Again, Lorette Nickel, Ryan Sage, the whole Formula Drift staff. Thank you to Kemp, Shabin, everybody behind the scenes. Too many to list because the family runs deep. Yeah. But I'm Jared Deanda. We'll see you online, or we'll see you another time. We'll see you at Formula Drift 2021. Send it, Formula Drift Nation.